Hi, chat. Welcome to the show. It is Tuesday night. Tuesday night. It's Tuesday night. Oof. Gotta be the week that never ends, but it's Tuesday night. Welcome to the show. Sorry I'm late. But we have some fun stuff to get into tonight. A little bit of a lighthearted thing, but I saw it this morning and I'm like, oh, this would be pretty good to cover Thursday. And then this has kind of just spiraled out of control over the course of the day. And I'm like, this is enough to talk about tonight. I think this is pretty good. To deal with. So I'm looking forward to it very, very, very much. Are we live? Start over? I mean, if you guys really want me to, I guess we can. No, we're not starting over. Anyways, hello, Joe. Hello, Johan. Hi, everybody out there tonight. RC VW says the judge has done it more than once. He's a bit of a nipper. Oh, we've got a lot of his conduct that I'm really, we're going to address. We're going to address it. We're going to address it a lot. But first of all, we've got, well, actually, we should probably start with who am I and what are we doing? My name's Sean, also known as Potentially Criminal. I'm an attorney in the Cleveland, Ohio area. And tonight we're addressing Judge Nathan Milliron. You're like, well, that sounds kind of like a hard, stern judge, Judge Milliron. There's iron in the felt, there's the glove itself is iron. Well, no, it's not like that. Not like that. Instead, though, we've got amateur iconoclast for wide sob. And then EDW Raptor for wide sob. Just picking all those grays off one by one by one. Kat says, I don't think it's going to be a judge very long. We'll get to all of that. But yes, we're going to cover all of it. We're going to cover all kinds of stuff. And he's shown up on a couple of these channels where, I think he's not the only judge down in Harris County, which is in the great state of Tejas, where a judge is kind of like they're showboating for the camera. So this is not a unique thing. It's not a unique thing. And we're going to address, what I think are some issues here. But anyways, Kat, good to see you. Hope you're doing well out there, guys. Kat, not Kat Williams. She was covering a lot of great things, guys. She once, had a phenomenal panel for the Afroman trial, covering the verdict. Very good stuff out there. Kat's doing all kinds of great things. Check her out if you guys haven't. Check her out. Although if you're here, you probably already know her. But still do. Judge Milliron. Oh. Magnus for $5. Oh, wow. I don't think I've seen you out here. Says, you're late. Now make me a YouTube mod so I can undo whatever Stabby does. Well, yes. Palmyra Media says, there are unhinged people in Texas. Say this isn't so. Well, it's funny because he's not from Texas. He's a carpetbagger. He's a Yankee. We're going to get into him. Do I mean northern Mexico? Yes. Luke is saying the most infamous one, Judge Boyd. That's who I am talking about. Proud black woman. She lost her primary good. I don't think she's got the temperament for judge. Okay. Shredder S07 says, been a member for 21 months. Thank you. Says, speaking of Tejas, the Killing Fields case has a suspect. Ooh, interesting. And C3 metal thingies for 5 subs. Oh, chat. Thank you for you guys are starting the night off. Big frickin' support. And, big frickin' support. I get Son on Woo tonight. Starting this off. 5 minutes in and we got on a Woo. That's always a good night. Oh, I accidentally did it. Sorry, chat. Once I run it, I can't stop it. Shouldn't. That's all on the eve of, by the way, I know a couple people have asked. Yes, tomorrow we will cover the birthright citizenship Supreme Court case. I'm in court tomorrow morning at 10. So I'm not available. We'll watch it later in the afternoon, probably around 6 o'clock. I reached out to Ryan Mullally, and he's like, well, I'm going to cover it live. It's like, well, fuck you then. I'll do it by myself. I'll do it late. And I won't watch anything. Although it's going to be really hard because Twitter's going to be full of people on either side dabbing and tap dancing and declaring total victory. So I won't know what to think. But I'm going to be by myself, chat. I'm going to be living under a rock. Well, all of you guys, you're probably going to cheat on me. You're going to go hang out with Ryan, and you're going to get all the information ahead of time, and you're going to neener, Sean, we already know. And that's okay, because I still won't know. I'm going to wait till the end. I'm not going to spoil it. C3's just slapping some grays. Shri gifting 5 subs. Thank you, Shri. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Good to see you tonight. Good to see you tonight. But yes, thank you for being here. Luke says her opponent ran on the platform of cutting the YouTube shit. I don't think there's a problem with the YouTube stuff. It's just camera up in the fucking corner. I hate to use it as an example, but I'm in front of the judge, Judge Irate and Kaniat. Camera just boop, over the whole courtroom. That's it. I think having the camera in the face like that, I think, and I think the way she's acted is you could tell she's kind of preening for the camera a little bit, and I don't like it. Let's see here. Smog says, I assume carpet bagging is what you do to dead hookers. No, because they'll bleed through. Johan for $2 says N. Ditch my case. I can't. I have to be there. C3 for $2 says I. Afix says, do I need this leveled in caption? What's the case name? Yeah. Am I in court tomorrow as a defendant or yeah, no, I'm there as the attorney. And yes, Luke, I saw this today. I saw the article about this. It is insane. I agree. This is like one of those times I agree with Ketanji Brown Jackson. The judge this is a case where there were some racial Batson challenges in a jury case, a jury trial. The judge told the defense attorney, your objection is preserved for the record. The Mississippi Supreme Court said, nope, that wasn't good enough. And I don't see how that's fair. If the court says you preserved it, that should be enough. So yeah, I'm going to listen to that one, and we're going to read through that one. Just not today, maybe over the weekend. I think it's worth looking at because it is not a good one. Also, Luke, I saw your thing about what happened in New Zealand. I think now that that's out, we could probably talk about what's happened out there because it is a very interesting case. Amateur Iconoclast $2 says G. Matt Buttigettis says Ryan rules, sucks to suck. Oh, yes, I've got FOMO. I do. Something huge is going to happen tomorrow, and it's like, they're not going to be. Don't know what's going to happen. Dr. Nick says Ryan is my bull. Oh, I'm fighting words. Tomorrow is oral arguments, chat. It's just oral arguments. Tomorrow, the decision is not coming down. Tomorrow's just oral arguments, but we'll get a feel for where everybody's standing. I mean, obviously, I know it's going to be at least 3 against the proposition. So we'll see. Palmyra Media for 5 more subs. You guys are just laying waste to all the grays out there, just crushing them. Just Thank you again, guys, for all your support, your generosity. I do appreciate it. Don't talk about Scarlet like that. President's going to address tomorrow night about Iran. I don't know what he's going to say more about, like, what's he going to say? Like, well, we're going back into Iran. We're going to keep bombing them. The most beautiful bomb. Like, I get it. You know, Iran needs to surrender. They're not going to surrender. Like, we're kind of fucked here. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, they're in a whole lot. Not saying you, Debbie, but I just don't know what Trump's going to say. But, you know, unless he's going to be like, last night the B-2 flew over downtown Tehran, and we, just like before, the old ways of Japan, we took it and opened up the sun over the city. Like, okay, now we're talking. I'm nuking them. But it's like, that's not happening. Bileyville says, surprise you're doing a case on April Fool's Day. It's not a problem to do a case on April Fool's Day. I think you can't just shut the court down. I think having a trial on April Fool's Day is something I do not like. I think that's I was actually in court today, and I was talking during before the hearing started. I said, the type of hearing we were going to have, I was going to say, Judge, I would have asked to move this had I known this was going to be on the first. And she's like, I would have denied your request to continue. I said, well, that's fine. And she's like, why are you so worried about it? And I said, from having read the Greek tragedies and the Greek plays out there, the fates love nothing more than to be tempted. They love it nothing more, and people tempt them. And I think having a very serious thing on April Fool's Day, she's like, it's just another day. I said, but is it? I wouldn't get onto a rocket on April Fool's Day. And we're launching an Artemis rocket tomorrow. It's like, Artemis 2, I think, is tomorrow. It's like, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? For the people involved in arguing tomorrow in front of the Supreme Court, biggest case of their career, and we're doing it on April Fool's Day. I mean, if this isn't tempting fate, then the gods have a sense of humor that this type of a case is being decided on April Fool's Day. Is going to be argued on April Fool's Day. So, Dr. Nick says April got a speeding ticket. What? Like, again? Or what are we? I don't get it. It's been so long since Sean streamed, I thought he'd come back looking like Nikocado. Oh, thank you. Kat says it's a dumb case. Which one's a dumb case? Drew. K says for $2. G. Paul Myron says, I want to see Sean at some 7-Eleven and in a Hawaiian t-shirt. Am I going to do a listen to over the birthright? Says, yeah, I'll do it probably around 6:00 tomorrow night. I'll wait to get it. I'll let YouTube, because C-SPAN's going to put it up. We'll let it close caption and be all perfect, and then we'll do it. Oh, yes. Kat's talking about Kane versus Pitchford. Yes. A bunch of prosecutors saying, no, don't get in our minds. And it's like, suffer. You guys like oral? Well, I'm glad you guys do. Derptanji Clown Jackson. Well, I mean, remember, chat. I'm sure we'll hear this tomorrow.
It just don't make no sense.
I'm sure it won't make no sense to her at all. Let me see here. What did somebody just message me? Yes, I am aware of the Kristi Noem and her husband with the fake boobs and the bimboification stuff. And it's just like, after we've seen those pictures of that shop teacher in Canada with the big fake titties and Noem's husband wearing a fucking titty suit, you're like, it's 2026, man. Like, he's at least not fucking horses to death, which is like, I guess we have to consider that the victory. So, I don't think we're going to see Clyde too much tonight, chat. We've got a lot of storms rolling through, and we've had a couple today already. We had a tornado warning for a little while, actually, like around 5:00. Clyde is kind of having a rough day, and he's like basically sitting on 2.0's head. So I don't think he's going to want to come in here. And if he did, you'd be looking at a terrified doggo, because I could see the lightning out in the distance. He does not like thunderstorms. Yes, Trump is going to declare it the gaze of Hormuz. That way Iran doesn't touch it. Corn and Cattle says, imagine pissing your legacy away for Israel. I mean, here's the neat thing. You know, since World War II, most U.S. presidents have pissed away their legacy for Israel. Just saying. I mean, name a president in the past 25 years that hasn't done that. And name a president in the next 20 years that won't do that. Yes, today is the 31st. Courtney Clinton is in hearing tomorrow, yes. Spud gun for £2 sterling. The King Sterling chat. We're going to catch up and get going here. It says, I won't cheat, Sean, so you better not be late. Oh. How can you tell if the jury isn't playing an April Fool's joke? Well, that's a thing, Your Honor. Your Honor, I'd like to poll the jury. And then after that happens, Your Honor, I'd like to know if they're going to say psych. Juror number 1, are you going to say psych? Say psych! Say psych! Why is Roger Goodell in the thumbnail? Well, we're going to get to that here. You guys are going really fast tonight. Wow. Mr. Hands weeped. No, Mr. Hands was like, ugh! He didn't have a chance to weep. That horse took his breath away as he got humped to death. That dude was a Boeing engineer, loved horses. Yeah, I know. He let the horse fuck him to death. Oh. Truth is saying, yeah, I think something's going to happen where it's going to be a bit of a, like, there's going to be some sort of withdrawal or easing of action. I don't think we're going to see an increase in op tempo. So that's what I'm kind of suspecting too. Kind of suspecting that as well. Something like that. Obama unironically didn't. I mean, he kind of did, though. He let the whole Arab Spring happen and, let the, kind of help destabilize the Middle East and leave Israel in a stronger position than ever before. So I'd argue that was still kind of to Israel's benefit. ACOG says, still confused why we had such important assets stationed so close to Iran. I mean, ultimately, like, you got to keep them somewhere. And Prince Sultan Air Base is not close to Iran. It's like inside Saudi Arabia. There's at some point, there's all you can do. And keep in mind, the entire U.S. defense posture for the past 80 years has been, yeah, we might have some overhead and hardened shelters, but for the most part, hardened shelters are worthless in the age of bunker busters. And the primary air defense system of the U.S. military is the United States Air Force. So, and that's going to be fighter superiority. So this thing that's happened in the last 3 to 5 years, there's only so much, there's only so much you could do to change that. I get Ukraine was trying to tell us they could help, and it's like, oh, wow, for once they weren't round their fucking tin cup in our face. But there's only so much you could do for, anti-UCAS activity. But also, to be fair, the U.S. military does have a lot of it. And the U.S. military was one of the biggest people doing drones and unmanned vehicles up until the end of the Cold War. Tons of it. So, as far as we're hearing, though, yeah, like the E3 got burned. Another one got damaged. Yeah, a lot of aircraft have been damaged, but also I'm sure that there have been multiple attacks and things that have been defeated as well. The other problem is, though, like, air bases are large. You only have your resources going somewhere. And ultimately, here's the other thing, too. The attack will always get through. There was a saying that came out in World War II. The bomber will always get through. You're never going to shoot them all down. So at some point you will suffer casualties. And if we're only suffering casualties on the ground, that's a complete radical shift in air warfare. That we aren't losing airframes in the sky to enemy fire, but we're losing them while they're on their base. And the idea that you can't just smuggle drones around, well, the Ukrainians showed that. They could smuggle drones around all over Russia and then pop them out of the back of a container, attack the airbase next door, and then that's it. I mean, shit's going to happen like that. So, have I ever seen the Whitest Kids You Know Opposite J jury sketch? No, I've not seen that. I've watched a lot of that. So... Yeah, we lost an E3 and a bunch of KC-135s. Yep. And I know some people are saying, like, oh, it's okay because we're going to buy more AWACS planes. Like, that's not the point. The point is we lost them and we shouldn't lose them. And the AWACS is a strategic level asset. That's like losing a fucking submarine. Like, the level of force protection for that thing is the same as that. It's a massive loss. Am I going to go to the DSP birthday month big extravaganza? Yes. Yes, I'll be watching. All right, chat. Anyways, it's time to go. It's time to go. Yeah, asymmetric warfare is a thing, but at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, they're getting in a lot of these pinpricks, but literally we've wiped out their entire leadership multiple times over. They have no capabilities of anything. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's nothing. There's no flawless victory. So they just mothballed those E3s 2 years ago. Their replacements. Those are not meant to be like flyable replacements. Those are probably going to be cannibalized for parts to maintain the fleet, because we have not just our E3s, but NATO has about 15 or so E3s still as well. Kitan says we have E7s. We have a couple. We don't have a ton. And we're now going to build a bunch of them, but we don't have a ton of them right now. So, yeah. So, oh. Amateur Iconoclast says, haven't the Saudis been dealing with drones from Yemen for almost a decade? Yeah, but it's been the Shaheeds, not these like little FPV drones that are like and attacking. So, ACOG is saying NEOS doesn't operate the E7. They will be. We signed contracts for them. So we will be getting them soon. And we have the E2. Yeah, but the E2 is not, I mean, it's got some advantages over the E3, and we're building a bunch of them, but the U.S. Air Force just signed a new contract for a bunch of E7s, which have the, the side scanning radar instead of the rotating radar dome. It's going to be a lot better overall, but it's going to be a while before we have those. It's going to be a while before we have those. So, I mean, that's the other thing to think about. In Vietnam, we lost 10,000 aircraft. Actually, I think that's just helicopters alone. The aircraft losses. In total, the Allied nations we lost 12,000 vehicles. 3,700 airplanes, 5,600 helicopters, just for the U.S. military alone. So 5,000 helicopters got shot down. The air losses during the Gulf War were staggering compared to what we're looking at now. And we're doing it with a fraction of the Air Force. So yeah. Demon's Rat says side scanning like a Cylon. No, it's a little different. And yes, we'll end on this. Yes, the biggest problem is the E3 is built on the 707 and it's long in the tooth and it needs replaced. And it needed replaced a long time ago because the Boeing 707 airframe has been around for fucking ever. And the newest E3s are like 40 some years old at this point. We need new ones. We need upgraded stuff. So, yeah. All right, guys. So it is time to go. And we have a Hella raid. Hi, Hella. Friend of the show out there. So, yes, those losses from all causes. And here in Iran, like, we've had a couple accidents. We've had a couple enemy action. So, yeah, It's just a point. It's just the point of explaining. But let's get into it. Let's get into it, chat. We are dealing with this guy here, Judge Nathan Milliron. And we're gonna take a look at who he is and what he does real quick. So Judge Nathan Milliron is a judge in Texas. Now, you guys see this is 215th District Court. In Texas, they do it a weird way, at least compared to other places. Every court, all the district courts are numbered. Where I'm at in Ohio, each county has you're running for the common pleas court judge seat. They aren't numbered. There aren't anything like that. For some reason in Texas, they number them this way. That's just how the state does it. So he happens to be running for judge seat 215, which is in Harris County, basically in Harris County down in Houston. This is him. He won the general election on 2024. And you learn about him a little bit. He was born in Dubois, Pennsylvania. He got his bachelor's from Seton Hall. And he got his law degree from Houston in 2004. He previously worked as an attorney. Now, this is the interesting part, guys. This is the interesting part. His term ends in 2028. So he's going to be up for the 2028 election. Here's the race that he ran. Here's the race that he ran. He won by like 300 votes. He won by like 300 votes, you guys. So he ran a very, very tight race. And this was his opponent, Elaine Palmer. I don't know anything about her. What is she? She was the judge. Oh, he beat the incumbent. Yeah, there we go. And she, yeah. So there you go. So there you go. And Ballotpedia, guys, is not bad if you ever want to find out about your local candidates. It's usually pretty good to give you enough information to start looking up stuff on your candidates and tracking elections. Joe says, what's a derogatory term for someone from Pennsylvania? If they're from the Pittsburgh area, you can call them a Yinzer, Yinzer. And remember, Yinzers don't qualify as people. Much the same way that, Russians look at Ukrainians, that's the same way I look at people from the Pittsburgh area. They are not people. Not people at all. Yes, that was Gooder Drama says, even with all the ballot stuffing. All right. So from there, where do we learn about Judge Milliron? So here's where we learn about Judge Milliron. And this came out, I guess, a couple days ago, but it didn't gain traction until yesterday afternoon, and then for me this morning. And here's where we start. This guy is yelling at an IT dude. And here we go. Obviously, the judge is the judge, sitting here in a robe, and the IT guy is the dude wearing the hoodie. So here we go.
You don't.
And you're disjoined from the audio here, right?
Yeah, should be.
Let me see. Sorry.
Mariah, did I make this up?
No.
5 seconds. 1 second. You don't have to go far. You're disjoined. Okay. Yeah, you're good. Okay. False alarm.
No, it wasn't a false alarm.
False negative. Sorry.
Don't joke around. I'm serious about this. It was happening. Again.
I understand. I'm just saying I can't see it, sir.
We're good. Thank you. Get out of my courtroom. Fine case supervisor. Jesus Christ. Sick and tired of this bullshit today.
What a crybaby. What a crybaby bitch of a human being. What a crybaby bitch of a human being. I mean, I get it when, like, I yell at you, chat, and you're giving me things that I'm getting mad. But your chat, you deserve it. You've earned the scorn. You've earned the scorn. But you can't just you are a professional in a courtroom, and that guy, even though he's not a judge, he's an IT guy. His job is to work at that courthouse. He's your colleague. You can't do that to people. You can't do that, pot kettle. Absolutely not. Different worlds, son. Different worlds. Eric says the IT dude should be able to fix things, though. Yes. And that's right. J-Rock is correct. It's always blame chat. Here it's different. I can always blame you. Always blame chat. But this is a different situation. This is a different situation. Where the hell did I go? Oh, that's why I was wondering where this went. There we go.
Always blame chat. When Sean doesn't share the screen, your fault. When you hate the Jannies, you're the Janny.
That's right. So when you hate he's right. Always, now for this judge though, apparently he thinks always blame staff. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that to the people in the courthouse. That's not professional at all. That's not professional. What was the IT problem? He must not have had some sort of recording system or something running. We don't really know. We don't really know at this point. We don't really know here. So the way this works now, you see all kinds of stuff from this. Yes, the IT problem was the user, yes. Now, this is where things start going. From here, it gets very interesting. This is kind of a subsequent update for it. Oh, the judge is muted on Zoom. Thank you, Shredder. Thank you. Now, this is a guy, Cody DuBose. I understand you guys you follow attorneys on Twitter. I do. You actually learn a lot how these guys handle stuff. He says it gets worse in response to this video. A veteran criminal defense lawyer with no cases before this guy's civil court, and apparently he only handles civil. Well, he's handling cases here. Wrote the judge an email telling the judge he needed to apologize to the IT guy. The judge responded by accusing the lawyer of making an ex parte communication and ordered him to appear next week, meaning April, I think, 7th, under the threat of contempt. And we're going to get to all that in a second here. This guy here, Cody DuBose, he is from Clemson, so he does War Eagle. War damn Eagle. I don't know what, I still don't get it because they're, not the Eagles. But he's a member of the Criminal Defense Lawyers Association strike force. And if you guys remember when Brian Steele got held in contempt, it was going to get incarcerated, and Ashley Merkant and all those people showed up, all the heavy hitters showed up in that courtroom to start fighting Judge Glanville. That's what a strike team is, or a strike force is. A lot of defense attorney associations will have those. I'm a member of the Ohio Criminal Defense Attorneys Association. We have one of those. It's a strike force of that. And there are attorneys, there's, all over the state. I've asked them, I'd love to help out on that too. But they're all available that if you get held in contempt or something's happening to you, there's somebody that can at least be nearby, if not a couple, who could come in and help you, because when you're held in contempt, you need somebody there to help you. You shouldn't do it alone. So this is a serious thing here. So they deal with the, lawyers getting in trouble from what they think is judicial overreach. And he says, we'll be there to make sure the judge doesn't try to jail a lawyer for exercising his First Amendment rights and criticizing the judge's behavior. And that's the thing. Even if this guy had a case in front of the judge, although you'd have to be careful at that point, that attorney is still a voter and a citizen in that county. And it's no different than me or any of you out there if you emailed the judge and said, this is bullshit, you shouldn't have done that. You have a First Amendment right to seek redress against your government for wrongs. Well, it was there was some discussion of this, and the attorney stuff made it in the newspaper yesterday, the Houston Chronicle. And the attorney who did it actually showed up and met with the newspaper. So, anyways, they talk about the judge's behavior going viral. And ultimately, there is, and we're going to get to this here, some of this other crazy shit he's done to attorneys. And this attorney wrote him, and a attorney named James Stafford, and he says, I hope you issued him an apology for the way you treated him, and he should. He should apologize to that IT guy. And he should be going there to that guy's office. You know, not summoning him to his courtroom. No, you should go to see him. And you should be taking your happy ass down to there and say, I am so sorry. That was horribly inappropriate. And honestly, that judge should make it, he should make it, that should be on the record at some point that he acted inappropriately. He acted inappropriately, but he doesn't. And we're going to see why. We're going to see why. We're going to see why. And he says, I hope you're having just a bad day and it's not your typical temperament. Now, the judge said that's an ex parte communication, which, chat, yes, ex parte things are a real thing. But remember, ex parte only exists when you are a party to a case talking to the judge. So, for example, if I have a case in front of a judge and I try to talk to that judge without the other party being present, that's ex parte. If I walk up to that same judge and say, hey, judge, did you see the Indians game last night? That's not ex parte. Or I say, hey, judge, I heard about the trial you guys had last week. What'll happen? And I heard it was a crazy time. They'll say, that's also not ex parte. But the judge ordered the attorney to appear April 9th to discuss the email further. And yes, this attorney has no pending cases and no proceedings have been scheduled. And the attorney's standing on his business. It's a freedom of speech as a voter. Yes, as a constituent. A member of the county. So, but they end up talking about what happened to the county employee. Well, the newspaper started reaching out. And his bailiffs are like, he's busy. And he won't get involved. He declined to address the videos again or reach in his courtroom. He also has alleged that the videos may have been edited on his Facebook page. He says, I'm not talking to the press about this, which is probably the best and smartest thing, but it's a little too late at this point now because everybody thinks you're a fucking scumbag, Judge. And I dare you to hold me in contempt over that. I really do, Judge Milliron. But we don't know if anything's happened because ultimately disciplinary action for employees or if there's complaints. We don't know what's going on. We can't, they can't discuss it. And that's actually a good thing. But I do agree, judges sometimes forget everything they say on the bench is recorded. And yeah, there's not a situation where those comments are justified. I don't care if the IT guy's acting like the biggest dickhead in the world. You address that with court staff. And say he was improper. He treated me poorly. He was not doing anything he was supposed to do. That's how you address it. You don't go in there and start treating people like that. And Maddie says, I'd show up multiple lawyers for this hearing. Well, that guy, Cody DuBose, and not only him, but I guarantee you there are going to be a ton. That courtroom is going to have a bunch of attorneys. They're going to run out of room for attorneys in that courtroom. I guarantee you there are going to be attorneys just coming to watch for support. The strike team of attorneys from the local defense bar is going to be there. I mean, like, it's going to be very much a bring them out, bring them out, bring them out. Like, it's going to be a real situation. And I think this judge is realizing, like, I think he's now realized he's fucked up. And it's too late. There's nowhere to go. Sometimes you can't unfuck it. And this is one of those times. Joe Schmo says, the Houston Chronicle hates Republicans. So beware of the tone and the slant from the straight news story. Well, we're going to go through this guy. No, this is pretty much head on. This is pretty much head on here. So here we go, chat. This is another thing this guy has done. Other people have come out and just shown how unhinged this judge is. Now, this is from a guy who is named Rolando Garcia. And who's Rolando Garcia? He is the State Republican Executive Committee. He's part of the Texas GOP. He's taking care of all kinds of stuff. This guy is doing all kinds of things, okay? Cool. This guy's out there fighting the good fight. You know, I'm sure that if you were to talk to him, he'd probably sound like this.
God bless you, Donald Trump. Keep the simplified fags out of our government.
I'm sure he sounds like Herman. But notice, this is something he put up. He said last year, and this is him saying last year, if you're just learning about Judge Milliron, last year he posted a rant on Facebook complaining the Harris County GOP chair didn't attend his investiture ceremony, meaning his, becoming judge, being sworn in his investiture. Even though he had spent the previous 2 years on Facebook threatening to sue her and the local GOP. I responded that he was being obnoxious and immature. He threatened a bench warrant. He later deleted the comment, but not before I screenshotted it. So anyways, he's saying, yes, 304 extra people wanted to come to that birthday party. And he says, you didn't have enough to win the race. I did. I'm happy to go where a Harris County Republican Party didn't want to win. Buzz off. And then Judge Milliron said, and he's quiet. What a surprise. He says, I'm seriously considering a bench warrant. Now, here's the deal. If this is a lot of judges, you might say, oh, he's kind of having a joke and a smoke about it. Yeah. But even then, if this was really, if you were a judge and you would never say that. That's not acceptable at all. The idea that I'm going to send men with guns to your house is never acceptable for a political figure to say like that. Especially a judge. It's improper beyond all get out. It draws your character and fitness into question because if you do, like, how are people supposed to take you seriously? How do they know when you're joking? Ha 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 ha. Oh. I mean, how do we know? Because when you see the other things this judge has done, you're like, oh my God, this guy's off his goddamn rocker. And it only gets worse from here, chat. It only gets worse from here. There's a couple different Twitter posts that are out there of things from Judge Milliron. This is one from Laws in the USA, which might be some sort of like soft sit thing or auditor thing. And it says, debt collecting lawyer Nathan Milliron's firm doesn't have an active surety bond with the Texas Secretary of State. This just shows you, like, when he wasn't judge, he's like, I don't need one. Read the finance code. He says, I'll be happy to send you citations. Send me your registered agent's name so I can sue you. And he says, if you want to play, you won't. You know you've picked a fight you will not win. Clear my name or I'm going to sue you. It's like, you're fun. Like, if you're challenging reply guys, you've already lost. If you're challenging reply guys like that, you're going to lose. But this is just a taste of what this guy is. A taste of what this guy does. So it starts showing you what's going on here. Yes, sex hearing, yes. It's like over this is going great. Yes. He's pulling a Baldo on Twitter. Well, he does more. He does more than just that. There are emails that have been released. This is an email from Judge Milliron to Marilyn Burgess, who I think is the I think these people are the clerks for the court. I'm not sure exactly, but it's to these women here. Judah Snively, almost Sneedly. But from Judge Nathan Milliron. Also, by the way, if you want to send him an email, chat, you can send him an email non-threatening if you happen to be especially a constituent. You have every right to contact him and say, Judge, I think that was inappropriate. But he says, did you have a chance to look at the e-filings pending on the 215th? You didn't respond to me as you promised. I took the bench yesterday at 4 p.m. in a contentious hearing. None of them would have been processed. Okay, well, yeah, if you took the, he's like, these were filed if I didn't press. Meaning, if I wasn't on you wouldn't have done it. My court will no longer be stagnant because of the clerk's office ineptitude. This is no longer an ask. Get me a clerk that responds to me and does the job. I hear there are some statutes that will allow what I'm asking for. Don't make me use them. I will if I have to. And then he says, Marilyn, I hope this isn't I'm an R and you a D thing. I'm the duly elected judge, as you know. I want the same respect of any other judge in the courthouse. I'm presently not getting it. I mean, your stuff's getting filed at 4 p.m., buddy. This is when you file, like most courthouses close around 4:30. If you come in, let's say it's a 4:30 time. Let's say it's 4:30 time. This is a bit of a bit of kind of like just, behind the scenes stuff. When you file something, the clerks have to timestamp it. Then they have to log it and do all kinds of shit with it. It takes time to do that. Now, ideally what'll happen is you'll timestamp something, it'll get timestamped. It's not my problem anymore. Especially if I have a timestamp copy saying, look, I filed it. It might take a little while for that file to get into the system. Now, there are some courthouses, depending on how the clerks run it, that it's like, we got to get it done. Boom, 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 boom. And that's a way they make sure they're never behind. Well, if you show up at 4 o'clock and you file shit, guess what happens? They're getting ready to close up. They're trying to close up and start slowing down. And in the meantime, you are now dealing with... Oh, when did that come through? Oh, okay. I know who that is right now. Okay. You're dealing with that. And now they've got to put all that crap in the system. So it's kind of like, it's a courtesy. You don't do that too late in the day. Because the most they'll be able to do is stamp it, and then they'll put it up tomorrow. But notice he's saying 4 o'clock, and I want this done now. Well, what do you want, man? Yeah. It's like, yes, this is like ordering a full dinner 30 minutes before the restaurant's closing. Is the Judge Anger texting me? I hope he would. I hope he would. I would I'd start sending him pics of the nastiest shit imaginable. But this is very poor form to whine about this. But you're doing it at 4 o'clock and it's a contentious hearing. Well, yeah. It's not going to get processed till the next day. If I got an order to show cause, I would Xerox my balls and file it with the court out there. Joe Gnome says, what if he sent nastier stuff back? Then it would be shit posting Vietnam. So what does he respond to? Well, things go on for a little while. And here we go. There's more. He's now responding to, this is funny because I don't know how you say this name, but it's like Chancesas. I don't know how you pronounce it, but that is. Anyways, whoever did this, guys, when you use Sharpie to redact things, you have to Sharpie it out. Okay? And then you have to make a photocopy of that Sharpied thing. Because if you just scan in something that's been Sharpied, you can still read through the Sharpie. This is free advice. You don't do it. You don't do it like that, okay? We're getting some more storm in there. But if you guys understand what I'm saying there, I almost feel like I need to do like a thing about this. I'll go to like a Kinko's in front of the copy machine and point it out. But you have to, when you redact, you make the redaction, You run it through a photocopier, and then I know what I've dealt with. I've had some cases where the prosecutor then turns around and or the opposing party, and they'll redact it again with another Sharpie line through it, run it through a copier, and then give it to you. And then it's completely blacked. Yeah, Outlaw 2 is almost better, but that could be a little bit of a time. That could be a little pain in the ass. That could be a little bit of a pain in the ass to do, but that is a way to get around that problem. Yes, it's blacked. And also Outlaw 2, hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. Black like Scarlet, yes, pretty much. So this isn't properly redacted, which is fucking hilarious. Because like I said, guys, you can see it. This is literally just somebody took a Sharpie and ran it over it, and you can see the fucking lady's name. You're like, oh, you can see Lisa Cooper, William Jones. This is just an example of things for you. Bonnie Lugo. Shale, I think Lewison. Shale, that's a pretty interesting name. But then there's Chansekas. I don't know. Ogra. Like you can see these people's names. You can see the name up here. This is from Lisa Cooper. Fucking, you guys got to learn how to practice your OPSEC, okay? Practice your OPSEC, chat, okay? It's very important. So anyways, the judge has a temper tantrum further. And he says, respectfully, no, I heard the same stuff with Brenda. If you aren't the right fit for my court, you aren't the right fit. Now, that is a thing that does happen. Judges, there are times where they come in and they clean out house and they want their own bailiffs, judicial assistants, whatever they have. Okay. And they say to Lisa, he says, Lisa and William, you were kind enough to take Brenda from me on less than an hour's notice. So it sounds like he threw a fit and he's like, I don't like this Brenda lady. He says, I'm returning the favor. Once again, Chansasa, that's got to be some sort of abuela, Erica. What kind of name is this in Spanish? I don't know how you pronounce it. Chancesis? Chansas? I'm going to have to hold on here. Chances? I've never heard that name. That's some kind of weird ethnic name. That's not Spanish. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe it's not. It's not English. I can tell you, like it's. Yes, it's Chansey. Yes. Or it's like if you're playing Mario Party, chance time. I remember that. So they point out, though, he says, she's not coming back tomorrow. So he's like, I'm returning the favor. She's not coming back tomorrow. This is, make sure I have someone else to handle my courtroom for 8:30 a.m. on the docket. She clearly isn't the right fit for my docket. And then there's a deputy. So one of the deputies, and that's where I see this right here, Shale Lewison, Harris County Sheriff's Office, HCSO, to the deputy. The clerk does not come into my courtroom tomorrow. My judicial authority should be fine for this instruction. Telling her, don't allow the woman in my courtroom. And I mean, there's some going stuff here. And notice, this is actually the interesting part here. This is the judge. He sends out to this person, I hear you've expressed interest in being reassigned to a different court. Just please keep me in the loop with these decisions. And he says, if that's okay with you, I would like to have a discussion about concerns. This totally is not a fucking unhealthy work environment if he's doing this shit. It's totally like, listen, it sounds like the one side just wants to be out, and he throws a fucking tantrum about it. He throws a fucking tantrum about it. Fucking insane. Absolutely insane. This is just... Bama Law, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well out there. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're liking the new job. Says, I was entertained by this judge. Now it's getting beyond out of control. He should probably be impeached, but they won't. Yeah, I mean, that becomes a thing. And that's becoming a thing here. So this guy's just out. He's out of fucking control here. Out of fucking control. And then Outlaw 2 says, another method that works pretty well for redaction per the NIST is the black bar digital print, black bar physically and scan. If you want simple, just black bar, print, scan, black bar. Yeah. Or if you do Adobe correctly, it works as well. So, Roman King, BC says, what up? What up? What up, blood? Bama Law is a step up from J-Rock Law. All right. Well, and then there was another response to all of this. There was another response. Another fucking response, chat, to all of this. And he read and read and read again. So he once again is asking Lisa Cooper, who once again did not properly redact. And maybe she didn't give a shit. Maybe that's the thing here. It's like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Maybe that's the issue here. But he says, what's the status on getting a clerk for the 215th? Notice we're like 2 weeks past, almost 3 weeks, and nothing's happening. On one hand, I hear there's no interest. Okay, well, I'm betting that's true. Nobody wants to be your friend. On another, I hear there is interest, and HCD wants to play. Get me a clerk! It says, Lisa, you got an email to write? Own it. I'm the district judge, and you are absolutely subordinate. I mean, if, I got to double check, but is Lisa Cooper, if she is an elected official, she's not. But she is not a subordinate to him. Because if you guys look here, here is the phone information, contact information for these people. So who is this? Marilyn Burgess is the district clerk. Okay. But notice all these people down below, they work for her. They work for her. They don't work for the judge. They are not her subordinates. They are not the subordinates of the judge. They are this woman's subordinates. Marilyn Burgess is the woman in charge of them. But the idea that he can push these people around and act like an asshole is absolutely ridiculous. And then you guys can see here, this looks like a bunch of the different, more employees. You see different civil courtrooms. All these people here, what clerks, what judges they work for. And who they're doing things for. And it's literally just, all these people work for the clerk of court. They don't work for the judge. So for him to say that, is this PDF ADA compliant? I don't know. Oh, why is he such a twat? I don't know. Yeah, so this is just ridiculous. Yeah, Lisa Cooper spotted. Oh, you guys saw Lisa Cooper? I kind of missed her. I was looking for her. Oh, the Civ Specialty Court Supervisor. Oh, okay. We'll go back up. Oh, yeah, there we go. So she's in charge of stuff. The civil specialty courts. Okay. Well, there you go. And we'll see. Let's see if he has a clerk right now. He has Mariah. But notice this has not been fixed. So he's the civil judge and he has Mariah, but he doesn't necessarily have her because he doesn't want her. Because we're going to go back to this. He's screaming about Mariah. You know, and he goes through this. He says, you have someone that wants to be in the 215th. You can't stomach it, right? I will. But no, this woman is not his subordinate. If he had a problem, he should go to the corresponding elected official and voice his concern. Because she's the one ultimately in charge. He says, Maryland doesn't need to like it. I need to do my job. And it says, Lisa, you heard something that you did in advance, right? I probably have the email you got. I'm much smarter than you. I will post this email. Mariah's assigned to me immediately. He's like, I need Mariah. He's like, Nick, it's like, I need Scarlett. I need April. That is an order. You don't get to make a fuck. That's not an order. That is not an order. You are not in charge of her. You are not in charge of this department. You are not in charge of this woman. This woman is not under your authority. You do not have the authority to discipline her. You do not hire her. You do not fire her. You cannot give her orders. You cannot do that. J-Rock, we're going to get to how bad this guy is in the case. Dolly says, can the other elected official tell him to shove it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, why can't she? I've seen that happen before. I've seen that clash in a couple different counties where, like, the judges want to put people in jail and the sheriff's like, I don't have the money. I don't have the staffing. So, like, the judge will say, I'm putting you in jail for 15 days. And the person shows up at the jail for the judge says, I'll show up on Friday. You're serving 15 days. And the guy shows up at jail. I've had this happen to my clients before. My client shows up at the jail and the jail says, yeah, we're not taking you today. So go home. They're like, we'll mark down you showed up. And they're like, call your attorney. They call me and I call the court. Like I sent an email out immediately. But like Monday morning, I'm there to verify with the court. Hey, he showed up. And the judge calls the sheriff, says, what the fuck are you doing? The sheriff's like, don't fucking care. And then it goes back and forth like that. But you know what? It's separate branches of government. And they'll just poof, like that routinely. Nothing you can do. I've seen it where the judge is like, well, I'm going to make him answer for it. And the sheriff's like, fuck you. That's why. You can't hold me in contempt. I refuse to do it. It's going to be give and take. Like that's checks and balances. It's separate but equal branches of government. And they will fight. They will fight. And yeah, the elected officials will tell each other to fuck off all the time. It's there. You have your turf. You have your fiefdom. And you don't let anybody encroach on it. So, Professor Fate says, guess who keeps all these documents? IT. Oops. Yes. Thank you for $2. Thank you for being here, by the way, Professor Fate. Texas Farm Girl says, I'm always looking for an org chart. If you can't make one, then I don't trust you. Oh. Evil Gandhi says, nothing I could do. In the quote DSP. That's very true. Nothing I could do. Nothing I could do, chat. I did everything right. Yes, checks and balances. Yes, those checks. Yes. The Bratislavian balances. Now we're going to move on to some other things this guy has done. And it's just ridiculous. Here's an example of it. This is just ridiculous.
Contact your daughter.
This is a case in front of him that's been recorded, and here we go.
Tell me what I do to make this right for everybody else in this courtroom that has spent their time and money.
Also, I'm not going to lie, as a judge, why are you not wearing a collared shirt at the very least? You're wearing like a t-shirt underneath your robe. But why are you not wearing a shirt and tie there, boss? That just seems very unprofessional, at least to me.
This morning.
I don't have any suggestions, Your Honor.
All right. Well, I do. You're going to pay sanctions in the amount of $5,000. Get out of my courtroom now. Mr. Rhodes, tell me why we're here today. You asked for an emergency hearing from my clerk yesterday verbally.
Yes, Your Honor. Well, we're here.
$5,000, chat. And that's not a joke. That is that's a lot. I mean, like I've seen, and we're gonna get into these AI cases coming up. There's a whole slew of them for us to go through. Like, there's a case where the guy got a $5,000 sanction from the Third Circuit, a federal court, for $5,000. But is this $5,000 worthy? Who knows? But this man here does not display enough of a temperament that I can believe he's correct. I can't assume he's correct.
Here today, Your Honor, because the court set the emergency hearing for.
Because you requested one, sir.
Your Honor, what happened was.
You didn't appear at my hearing yesterday again.
Okay, which, to be fair, if you're not appearing at things, that's never good. That's never a good thing. Luke, we'll get to we'll explain why that one was $5,000 when we do the case, but it's really bad. Dolly says, how much can they make you pay? I mean, theoretically, it's their discretion. Now, if they sanction you like $100,000, you would appeal that to the intermediate court, and they would fix that. But technically, a judge could fine you like sanction you $10,000. It's a sanction, whatever they feel is appropriate. It's within their discretion. But $5,000 is a lot. But missing court case, yeah, that missing court is never good. That's not a good thing.
If I may respond, Your Honor.
Please, I'm waiting.
So, Your Honor.
I love how this court, and that's the thing with these channels, and I understand court disorder. They're not an attorney. But, every time it's this attorney's got an attitude. No, this judge is being a cunt. So, anyways, we'll go here. Let's keep going.
As it relates to yesterday, in non-appearance for yesterday, the short answer is that it was not on my calendar.
Were any of the other 6 hearings you didn't attend on your calendar?
I don't believe it was 6 hearings that I missed.
You want to go through the record again?
No, Your Honor. But Your Honor, what happened on yesterday, as relates for hearing, as the court is fully aware, there was a TI hearing which was denied regarding the sale of the.
And you're getting ready to go back to the ancillary and try to overturn me again, right?
No, I'm not going to do that, Your Honor.
I assure you, you're not.
Okay. So what happened, Your Honor? There's been communications between me and opposing counsel, in particular, going back and forth and trying to get the matter resolved as the case would be. It wasn't until late yesterday, Your Honor, not to violate attorney-client privilege communication, it wasn't until late yesterday that I was directed to seek, if it was possible, to go and see if we could have it modified. At that moment.
Why would I modify it after you've had 6 weeks to modify it?
Your Honor, I was instructed to do it by my client.
Where's your client?
My client.
I instructed him to be here today. Where is he?
Okay. I'm
about to issue a bench warrant. Where is he?
Your Honor, I have no idea where my client is at
okay.
this moment.
Okay, that if a party asks for a hearing, emergency hearing, and you're mad that the client can't show up, okay, that's a bit much. I'm going to put out a bench warrant for somebody. Now that becomes an issue where did the judge tell them they had to be there? I don't know. But once again, this guy is so off and so unhinged. I don't know who is right or wrong here, but I'm going to presume he's wrong because this is the guy in the position of power.
Your Honor, may I explain?
You may not. I'm asking where your client is. You don't know.
Your Honor, if I may explain. When I called in the court advised that we had an emergency hearing scheduled for this morning.
At your request.
I advised my client of the emergency hearing on his status conference. The emergency hearing on his status conference.
That he was ordered to appear at.
Your Honor, I didn't. By the time I got the order, I was driving while I was speaking with.
I understand. You did it late in the day, and I did it late in the day.
By the time I got the order and tried to reach out to him, I could not reach out to him. I could not contact him.
Why don't you contact him right now and see where he is?
If I may, Your Honor?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do it on the record. I'd like an address where he is because I'm about to send out the constable.
Now, that said, though, I've been in this position before where it's like, When did you contact your client? I've contacted multiple times. When's the last time you did it? Your Honor, it's 9 o'clock. We're set for this hearing. I contacted them at 7 a.m. When was the last time you contacted the day before? All the way up through to 10 o'clock last night. You know, and I've also been sitting there on the phone in court in front of the judge. No, call him right here. Okay, judge. And you're like, yeah, been this guy before.
This is probably the 10th phone call that I made.
Please record your
And this is what I get. I sent an email. I sent text messages.
When did you send the last email to him?
Last email was sent to him probably at about 5 o'clock this morning.
Why didn't you show me that email? Mr. Rhodes, frankly, I don't believe a word you're telling this court at this point. Deputy, find out who's in my ready room, please.
Also, chat, when you happen to be these guys, life is good. You just sit there and you're just like, I'm shutting the fuck up. That you got a face of stone and you're just like, well, I'm just going to sit here. Neener. You just let it happen. Patty, with the attorney-client privilege, this is a good question, though. And it's good to see you, by the way. Been a little while. With the attorney-client privilege not a thing was showing the email, the judge wants to see the email of when you contacted that person. I've had this happen before where a client comes into court and says, Your Honor, Sean never told me what day the court was. I'm like, yeah, I did. And the judge says, do you have proof of it? And I said, yeah, here's a text message. And the way I normally do it is as soon as I get a court date, especially if we set the court while we're there, hey, Mr. Bob, whoever it is, especially with court appointed cases, because, people are hard to get a hold of. You email them immediately or you text them immediately court dates. You guys hear that? Wow. You text them that immediately so they have it. And then maybe like a week or two before, you'll send it again. And then, maybe depending on the situation, if they've acknowledged they've got it, I don't worry about it. But if I don't hear from them again, usually like a day or two before, I'm like, hey, just reminding you again about your court date on Wednesday. And at that point, it's like, okay, I've done all I can. But I've had it before where the person shows up. It's like, I never got it. And I said, Your Honor, yes, they have. And I said, the judge is like, may I see it? And I've said, Your Honor, this is the part of the conversation, because remember, I can't breach attorney-client privilege unless I'm defending myself. And that's one of the times where your client is accusing you of violating the professional rules, that I have not done my due work. I have not informed my client or done things. And I said, Judge, look, I notified him, and here's them actually acknowledging it twice. They got the court date. Judge says, great. And then he looks at the person and says, why the fuck are you not showing up to court? Sometimes you have to do it. So that is a thing. That is a thing there, and I hope that makes sense. Erica says, what if an attorney says he will be present on your behalf and he never shows them the judge rules against you? I mean, well, that's a problem. I don't know if you guys could hear that thunder and lightning. So, but remember, when the party's accusing you of saying, well, they never told me, and you have to show proof. Now there are times where if I have an email and I've got the laptop, I can open up the laptop and I can save that email as a PDF and I can immediately show it. I can email that to the clerk and they can print out a copy and be like, look, Judge, here's a copy of the email I sent. Here's an acknowledgement from them that I went, all that. But like I said, there's ways of showing and demonstrating you complied. Oh, and Pancake says, my kid joined the track team. Cool. Been terminally on replay for the last 2 months. Oh, okay. Well, good to see you. Hope you guys are having fun. Watching people run around in circles. Jesus Christ. They're upset out there. Aaron says, like, what if your attorney sleeps in that day? I mean, like, that can happen. I mean, as long as you're there, you're safe. Like, if you have a court date and your attorney isn't there, I've seen judges do it before. They're like, I'm not mad at you. You are here. You are not being punished for anything. And that's true. If you're there, your attorney, like, but I've also had, like, I've been in court before, like court A, and I'm like 10 minutes away in the next town over, like the next suburb. And it only takes 5 to 10 minutes to get to court. But I've been stuck there because everything got held up for some reason. You know, I've had it where my client's been sitting there for like 15, 20, 30, 40 minutes before. And the court's like, well, where the hell is Sean? And I've already called ahead and said, I'm stuck here. And they verified. And, you know, the judge may be upset about that, but, you know, your client's there. They're safe. They've shown up. They've checked in. Nothing can happen to them. And that's how you handle it. So, but anyways, let's keep going here and see what happens.
Actually, by way of correction, the last email sent out was at 7:24 a.m. this morning.
Okay. And your client doesn't want to respond to this case?
How often do I get stuck in the revolving doors? It's a trick. You don't go through them. You don't go through them. And then Outlaw 2 is saying, what happens if you had like a legitimate medical emergency, like you got in a car accident? I mean, obviously at that point, like you're in a car accident, you're completely immobilized and incapacitated. Like, yeah, obviously that's not your fault. But that's like rare. That's usually never the issue when attorneys don't show up to court. They've either double booked, they're stuck in a court, or they didn't have it scheduled or forgot about it.
Does your client want to prosecute this case anymore, or should I dismiss it?
No, yes, he does, Your Honor. He does want to prosecute the matter.
So where is he?
I have no idea where he is.
Go find him right now.
May I be excused?
Yes.
Well, that's actually true. Like, you should be asking, like, can I go look right now? You don't leave till you're told you can leave.
Y'all can step back.
Y'all, it's like, homie, y'all could step back. Y'all can step. You're from Pennsylvania. You don't get to say y'all, buddy. Where the hell is Dubois, Pennsylvania, anyway? Or Du Bois? Like, I'm not, you know, let me see here. Okay, you know, okay, he kind of went to a rural area. He's from like a rural-ish area. Like, but you're not saying y'all a lot in Pennsylvania. That's kind of like, you know, like, it's a small town. I get it, but I'm just not like you're saying y'all, but it's like, you know, I don't know. It just him saying y'all kind of rubs me the wrong way. Kind of grates on me.
Are we on the record?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Rhodes, any luck?
No, Your Honor. No luck in contacting him. Mr. Simpson, Attorney Simpson, was able to contact the daughter, who advised that he was in Port Arthur, and also provided me with another number. I tried contacting that number multiple times, and it just goes straight to actually not even voicemail. Says that it's full. So.
It's clear to me your client doesn't want to prosecute this case. Why didn't you appear for 6 weeks? And then you appeared last week on Friday. You didn't appear yesterday. And now again this morning, you're requesting emergency relief from this court.
Actually, Your Honor, as I mentioned earlier, I did not appear yesterday because the hearing was not on my calendar. When as directed by my client to see if there was availability to have an emergency hearing, not today, but later next week.
Well, you're not getting anything later next week. I promise you that.
I completely understand, Your Honor. I was advised that they wanted to have the hearing this morning, and I advised the court that we were not seeking a hearing to seek relief for today.
Well, but that was after you requested relief from my clerk. And she reached out to me late yesterday afternoon. Tell me what I do to make this right for everybody else in this courtroom that has spent their time and money this morning.
I don't have any suggestions, Your Honor.
All right. Well, I do. You're going to pay sanctions in the amount of $5,000. Get out of my courtroom now. And those sanctions are payable by you directly, not your client. I will sanction him directly in the future. Get out of my courtroom.
That's fucking ridiculous. The way he's done this, where he's all fired up, I think that attorney should demand a hearing, because if you're going to sanction someone like that, you're holding them in because he's holding him in contempt. He has the right to a hearing for that. Like, that way he's going to handle it. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Y'all are excused. Y'all on the 8:30 docket, have a seat, relax. Find me a bench warrant. I want him arrested. Find me a bench warrant. I want him arrested.
Now that's bullshit. That right there. After everybody's gone, I want this man arrested. That's not how that works. You can't just issue bench warrants randomly for people. That's not on the record anymore, because obviously you dismissed all the parties, so the record's over. You just issuing bench warrants off the record. That's unhinged. I want him arrested. God, this guy, like, if his wife burns fucking dinner, he probably, I'll put out a bench warrant. His kid, the freaking macaroni picture his kid makes at daycare falls apart. Bench warrant! Like, what's this guy doing? These are feeler bugs, Lawrence. Who's the client? Yeah, for the client. The client. Yes. Yes, as Ralph will say, arrest him! Arrest him! David says, arrested for what? Yeah, issuing a bench warrant for a party not showing up in a civil case is fucking mind-blowing. I agree, man. Also, good to see you, by the way. He beats his husband. I'm sure his husband beats him. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm not saying, like, I'm not advocating people should attack elected officials, but this is how you catch a fucking fade in the parking lot come after the day's over. This type of behavior, like, if somebody fucking just river danced on him, I'd be like, okay, well, that kind of sounds like a bit much. This guy is the one who needs a bench warrant. Oh, I agree. Yeah, why would you just dismiss the case? I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go after this either. It's insane. There's some other stuff this guy has done. Like, here's another good example. This is a shorter one here, but Cody Dubose put it up again. This is him with another civil case here, and here we go.
Can't read that.
Okay. Those are the overlapping stores between the stores outlined.
You're wasting my time this morning.
No, Judge. I mean, we have an overlapping issue in these two cases.
They don't seem to be that overlapping to me.
Well, we have the same parties.
You want to go to Jefferson County because you want Jefferson County jury.
Oh, I mean, Judge, we're the defendants in the case.
Okay.
Notice they want this done. He's like, well, you only want that because of the juries. It's like, Judge, we're the defendants.
They're plaintiffs. We haven't filed either one of these cases. They filed this case
Lien
first.
abatement is denied.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We filed a proposed order, but I have one here at the end.
Take it.
Jeff, you would briefly respond
You
about.
may not.
Well,
This hearing is done.
she's asking for sanctions.
Deputy, remove her from my bench now.
Notice the other side's asking for sanctions. She should have a right to respond to that. Deputy, remove her from the bench now. What a pussy.
No, you may not. This hearing is over. Jesus Christ, these people today. Step away. You're about to be cuffed.
This is absolutely ridiculous. Cool channel name says she can respond in writing. No, she can't. It looks like he already took the order and he's accepted it. They proposed an order and he's accepting the plaintiff's order. So there probably isn't any responding to that. So, RCW says, I like how this judge treats minorities and women worse. Yeah, this is so unprofessional. This is absolutely unprofessional. So this is, yes, guards. Ecopathic. This judge looks like Spider-Man when he goes emo. Yeah. Yes. And then it gets like, there's one more, guys, and this one's only, this is like 10 minutes long, but it's worth watching. We'll skip around a little bit.
He did speak with the juror. He is going to send a deputy to pick him up because the juror's like, send a deputy. Judge is like, I'll do
The juror said send a deputy.
Yeah.
Here's what I think I want to do, because I do want to send a message to these jurors. I'm going to send the sheriff's office out to pick this juror up. Okay. Juror Hector Jaime is not feeling well. He overslept and he is not coming in today.
Is he an alternate or is he a juror?
He's the guy.
The deputy believes he's a juror. We'll check on that.
I'm pointing it out.
Okay, I know we have, of course he is, both are alternates for women. No.
One man, one woman.
Okay, well, what do I know?
Okay, so there's a juror not there, which, guys, court trial is live TV, man. I've had it where, I think I mentioned this before. I have had trials where, people don't show up, and, jury duty, not everybody shows up for it anyway. I mentioned that there's one county I was in before where the judge, he excused so many people for jury duty that when the first trial he had came around, they had to go out to Tim Hortons and the Walmart to go find people who could be on the jury because they didn't have enough people. I mentioned before I had the case where it's the first trial, I was second chair on it. And it was some kid who was like 18, 19 years old and was kind of he was on the spectrum. And he didn't realize he went to class first and then came to court. And, he's just didn't think anything of it. All kinds of weird shit happens with jurors. Yeah, I had a case where we had jury selection. We broke for lunch. And right before we start, the juror comes in and says, I apologize. I accidentally looked up stuff on the case. Now, obviously, that wasn't an accident. She fucking did it because she didn't want to be on the jury. But she got excused. But jurors do all kinds of retarded things. So when I first hear this, I'm like, who knows? Maybe. This is my first time hearing the guy this morning when I saw this. I was like, all right, let's listen to it. Let's see what happens.
So, counsel, I'm told there may have been a couple of communications with him this morning. The first one was he overslept, and the deputy told him that was unacceptable and he needed to get himself to the courthouse. Once that happened, he apparently started saying he was not feeling well and he was not coming in.
I almost hate to encourage that kind of behavior, but we've already lost one day, but through a legitimate medical issue. I would, and I'm happy to chat about this off record. I'm just talking out loud, whether I'm on the record or not. I hate that kind of stuff, and I hate excusing people when they do it, and without a darn good threat and and some attempt to force this guy to get down here. I think it sends a bad message to our jury over 3 weeks, and we're going to have this happen again and again. One person deciding, I don't feel good this day, or I don't want to come down here, and it's just going to be a mess. So I would be reluctant to simply, even given the totality of what we've gone through, just release him. I would rather somebody try to drop the hammer on the record. Yeah. No, drop the hammer on this guy. And
I think it's interesting this attorney doesn't want to be heard on the record making this position advocated for. It's like, don't be a chicken shit, man. Don't be a chicken shit. Now, to be fair, I've been that guy before. When you guys don't show up for jury duty, like after we pick the jury and you guys are fucking around, it is infuriating. Like, they've spent time preparing. Their witnesses are ready to go. More importantly, I'm amped up. It's fucking go time. And you're the guy streaking out in the middle of the field fucking delaying the game. So yes, it does piss off attorneys when you do that.
See what we can accomplish. We do not have any conflicts with the Sasshole witnesses that are here today. They can all be here tomorrow. Okay, so just so Mr. Alford knows, it's not going to impact.
Here's what I think I want to do, because I do want to send a message to these jurors. I'm going to send the sheriff's office out to pick this juror up.
Okay. I think no problem.
That's going to eat up some time today, but
quite all right.
Let's send a message.
I really am afraid if one gets by with it in a 3-week trial, it's only a matter of.
And that's the problem here. They're having a 3-week-long civil trial. Now, you're going to hear an issue here. They didn't pick too many They didn't pick too many jurors. And that's a big problem here. I think that's a massive problem that they didn't pick enough jurors for the case. They only picked a handful, and it's like, no, you should have a lot. 3 weeks is a lot of people. That's like, you know, that could be a problem. So, somebody's saying his Facebook page. I don't see it. Is it, I don't think he has it anymore. Oh, hold on. Yeah, he's here still. Oh, yeah, he's got his Facebook. Okay, yeah, I see this. Oh, yeah, he's like, this is fucking cringe. So, yeah, we're not going to look at this. It's just garbage. It's gay. It's cringe and gay. Anyways, let's keep going.
Time before somebody else is sick.
Well, he is home right now.
Okay, let's go in my chambers. I'm sure there's some paperwork I'm going to need to fill out. I'll be back in my staff. Yeah. Just hang around. We'll let you know as soon as I have more information.
And so initially, when I'm hearing this, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with how this has turned out so far. Making that guy show the fuck up, yeah. Well, hold on here. Propaganda alt. Or Propaganda Limited. Well, if it's a civil case, which side are you going to make lose? Because you won't know who asked for the warrant. That's just something to think about.
Y'all can come in. I just want to give you an update real quick on things. I have spoken directly with Mr. Jaime. I don't get the feeling that he's sick. I get the feeling that he worked overnight last night and he's tired and he just doesn't want to come in.
I have severe problems right now. Number one, why are you speaking him yourself? You are now a witness to this issue. If you hold this man in contempt, you are now a witness when you didn't have to be. Your court staff should have been dealing with that. Also, if this guy's working third shift, why did they put him on the jury? That just seems like a big enough problem anyway. This doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Yeah, why did they seat this guy? But more importantly, why is he calling him? He has staff who should be doing it. You know, and maybe he means staff, but when you say I called him, I take you at the literal meaning of I called him.
I told him that he needed to get to the courthouse, and he proceeded to tell me that he would try. I said, no, I need you to commit that you're coming down to the courthouse right now. He said, well, I'll try. I said, no, I'm about to send somebody to help you come to the courthouse. What do you mean? He said, I'm about to send out a uniformed police officer to come and help you get down to the courthouse. And then he got a little, I won't say agitated, but it was, okay, go ahead and send somebody for me then. So our staff attorney is in the process of preparing the paperwork, and we're going to send out the constable to pick him up.
Okay. I'm sure we're wishing we could go back to Monday.
Yeah, Patty Kate's like, do you know who I am, bish? I'm sure the guy was like, oh, yeah, fuck you. You're not the judge. I'm not going to lie. If I was just some rant, like, I know who the judges are. Like, I've had judges call my phone before. And you're like, oh, shit, it's Judge so-and-so. But imagine if you're just some fucking, you know, Joe shit the rag man. I'm Judge Milliron from court. You'd better come in. I'm sure he's sitting there playing fucking Call of Duty. Like, yeah, fuck you too, click. Like, you know. Does he have staff? Yes. Well, it sounds like he made a deputy kick them all out. Well, he fires all his staff. So he fires all his staff.
Make some different decisions. Thank you for that, AJ.
I'm probably going to bring the jury members that are in and just give them an update and stress the importance of jury service and being here, whether or not you're
That's
tired.
what I feel the worst for. They're wasted 2 days.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
Yep.
Thank you.
If everybody wants to be in the room when I bring out the jury, I'm probably going to do that in the next few minutes. Okay. Okay. Have a seat. Thank you. There is nothing more that I hate than the perception that we are wasting your time here. So I wanted to give you an update because the
Oh, half Seamus. Oh, that's true. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I didn't get that far into this. I've only watched a little bit of it. I must have watched a different one then, because I'm not sure. Time talk saying, which is this in Texas? Harris County, down in Houston.
These attorneys are working very hard, as is the court, to make the most efficient use of your time. You may realize that there are only 13 of you here this morning. We are again missing one juror. The juror that is missing apparently is tired. It just doesn't feel like coming in today. So my court staff attorney is in the process of preparing some paperwork, and he's going to get a ride into the courthouse. So I want to give you an update. That's going to take some time. I apologize for this delay. We're going to continue to try to do our very best to move this case as quickly as we can. But I do want to stress the importance of jury duty to you. Please know that what you're doing is very important to these parties and to the court as a whole. And you don't get to just blow off jury service because you don't feel like coming in. So there is going to be a constable that goes out and picks this juror up. And if it happens again, I will do the same for any of you. So please know the gravity of your jury service. I will keep you updated as I know more. The staff attorney is working on the paperwork, and the constable or sheriff will go out in short order to bring that juror here, and we will get started just as soon as we can. But if you will be patient, lunch will be coming again. One day or another, we will start this trial, but I will keep you apprised. But that's it for now. Just know that the gravity of this situation is not lost on this court, and this juror is probably not going to have a very good day going forward.
This is also unprofessional. The jury shouldn't know what the fuck is going on with anybody else. They should. Ladies and gentlemen, we're sorry. We're having a problem. We're having a problem here. We're trying to address this problem. Has required the court to fully devote itself, along with counsel here, plaintiff and defendant's counsel, to address the matter. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not your fault. Also, more importantly, it is not the fault of either party here in front of you. This is an independent issue that the court has to address. We're sorry for taking up your time, but we have to address it. That's how you should be taking care of that problem. You shouldn't be airing out what these people are or are not doing like that at all. I think this is shitty why he's doing it and how he's doing it. It's absolutely inexcusable. Absolutely inexcusable. Afix says whatever the state wants is state losing out. No, this is a civil case. This is the civil judge. He hears civil dockets. So he hears civil cases of plaintiff and defendant suing people. So
with that, I'm going to release you back to the jury room. I know you still don't know anything about this case, but please don't talk about the case amongst yourselves or with anybody else.
I'll rise for the jurors.
Mr. Yankowski, you have a motion with regard to the juror?
Yes, Your Honor. It's our understanding that juror veneer panel member 21, Mr. Jaime, is that Mr. Jaime, has either voluntarily or involuntarily appeared this morning. After reflection on the wise advice of the court's staff attorney yesterday, my client has come to the conclusion that Mr. Jaime's conduct yesterday demonstrates two things. One, that he likely could be a disruptive force on the jury in this case, to the benefit of no parties or the benefit of justice in the court. And number two, that certainly, unless he has had a road to Damascus moment, which I can't know, is certainly willing to thumb his nose, for lack of a better word, at the instructions of the court to show up. And with 2 weeks left of trial, there is no guarantee that he won't suddenly change his mind and decide not to show up yet again.
So right there, guys, if you guys aren't aware, for those of you who might not be biblically inclined, the road to Damascus moment is Saul on the road to Damascus. You know, basically when he finds God. And that's what he's referring to there when you know, it's, you know, you know, when Saul encountered, what did he do? Is it, God? I forget the rest. But Saul found Jesus or God or somebody spoke to him. I don't remember well enough to know. Yeah, Saul encountered God being blinded, yes, and having his blindness removed, then he became Paul, yes. Oh, Jesus appeared to Saul? Okay, yeah, sorry, tech guy. I'm not 100% on that. Besides, who cares if why would Jesus appear to Saul? You know, remember, guys, you know, Jesus is just some guy, according to biblical scholars out there in Minnesota. Just some guy. Just some guy. Nobody important. So I don't know why you guys worried about that. I understand he's Paul, but before that happens, he's Saul. And once Saul once Saul ran into Jesus, he became Paul. So the road to Damascus, he's still Saul. That's what I was trying to get there, okay? Anyway, yes, this guy is probably not going to be a reliable juror. I don't want him on the jury. I would want him off the jury too. Kanye West spoke to him. So.
Costing us more time of the courts, more time of the jury, more inconvenience for everyone unnecessarily. We thank the court for going to the time and effort to ensure Mr. Jaime is here today. We do feel that's important given the civic duty nature of jury selection, of jury service. But at this time, because of the reasons that we have outlined, defendant requests that Mr. Jaime be instructed by the court that he is to continue to attend trial every day until its conclusion, but that he be removed as a voting member of the jury and replaced with alternate number one to maximize the chances of juror cooperation with the court and a smooth trial going forward.
That makes total sense. I think you should do that. That guy's, regardless, he's not a reliable juror at this point.
Mr. Ilford, any comment on that?
I would disagree at this point. I think that what we found at this point is that the jury.
Wait. Time out, T-Rex. I did not commit blasphemy. Jesus is our Lord and Savior and is the only begotten Son of God. The only begotten Son of the Father, God from God, light from light, true God from true God. I'm not the one who says he's just some guy. I'm referring to biblical scholars out in Minnesota who believe that. So.
As we've heard at least that he's been brought to the court, that he's here. And I think that the example that could be made to the jury is the extent to which this honorable court will go to make sure that they adhere to the court's instructions. I think that point has been made. He's here. We do have a 2-week trial to think about. We have only 2 alternates. We've already had not 1, but 2 jurors that have missed court. And we need to make sure that we have alternates available for when something happens, if it were to happen in the future. I don't think that at this point it's time for us to make any type of moves to rid the jury of one of its members who's here, who's present, and ready for us to proceed to trial. We're all ready to get started in this case. And I believe that once the jurors actually start to get started in this case, that it'll be more likely that they'll continue to come. We're treating them very well, providing lunch every day. They're being paid higher than normal jurors are being paid. I think we're doing everything in our power to make sure that this jury is happy. And we have a juror that made a mistake yesterday. The court has made it clear to him that you are going to take every action to make sure that that mistake does not happen again. And that I think is great example in that room with the jury for them to see that. And that'll have hopefully a deterrent effect on the remaining jurors. So we would disagree with Mr. Yankowski, and we'd ask that he be allowed to sit on the jury.
All right, I'm going to defer a ruling on that for just a moment. Mr. Jaime has expressed interest in talking to me directly. I'm going to do it in front of you. Deputy, if you bring him in the courtroom, please.
To be excused while he talks to you?
No, I'd like you to hear this. You're not going to question him, but you bring me in the courtroom.
Clear what you were.
Mr. Jaime, come on up to the bench if you would.
Now, here's the thing. Anytime there's a problem with the jury, the idea that these parties do not wanted to be there, no, as you need to be there in the courtroom if you're counsel. Anything happening to the jury, you need to be involved. You need to be dealing with it. 100%. 100%. Now, he said he's not going to, you're not going to be able to question him. At first, you're like, okay, that makes sense. But when it gets a little further, you're like, no, actually, you should be able to question.
First off, I want to thank you for coming in today. Can you tell me what happened yesterday?
I went to my job and
It was from 3 and I got out at 1. And I thought I was confident to come in the next day, 3. But I guess I was wrong, even though I set up an alarm and I couldn't wake up.
All right. I understand you had at least a call from the constable this morning. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And
I notified them that I was on my way.
And the constable visited your house, visited a family member or two? Here they talked to you also. What did they tell you?
No, nothing much.
Did they tell you you probably should take the court seriously? Let me ask you this. You were selected to be on this jury.
Guys, remember, this is a civil trial. This is a civil trial. So us knowing who the jury members are isn't a problem. And this is just some random case in Houston. This isn't like a high profile thing. So there wouldn't be concerns about influencing it. This isn't really a problem. So just, Eric says, no way this is on the record. No, this is on the record right now. So.
Do you think you can be a fair juror on this case? Are you ready to listen to the evidence? And can you commit to being here every single day? This is the first time that I've had to get the constable's office involved to go and wrangle up a juror. This is a very, very rare occurrence, and it's very serious. It cannot happen again. And I think if my actions yesterday and this morning are any indication, if it does happen again, this court will take extreme action to make sure you are in this courtroom. So I need your commitment that you're going to be here and this will not happen again. Is that a yes? Do you understand the repercussions if you don't come back to court? I have the
Now here's the problem. Here's the problem. He's questioning this guy whether he's fair and impartial and can be a juror. At that point, counsel should have every right to voir dire this person again. Every right to. So. Oh, time to tell you what time. What's this judge's last name? Milliron. Milliron. And Katie, we already read that story. We got that story kind of right off the bat.
ability to hold you in contempt and confine you to jail for a period of time. I really don't want to do that, but I have to protect these parties. Yeah. You see how many lawyers and parties are in this room? Do you have any idea how much money they spent sitting here yesterday for no reason? Lots and lots and lots of money. Is there anything you'd like to add? You can go back into the jury room.
So there you go.
Mr. Yankowski, your motion is denied. I would have granted it yesterday in a heartbeat, but now it just feels like it was an effort to delay this case. So we're going to move forward with the 14 we have for now. The court will be in recess for about 10 minutes, and then we'll get started with openings.
Are you fucking kidding me with that? I'm going to allow, like, you're now just delaying the case. Are you fucking serious? Are you serious? I can't believe he kept him. I'd argue that's a massive appealable issue. Because now they've disclosed this juror has engaged in misconduct to the jury. If he had just not been there and then they just brought him in the next day and it's like, don't talk to them about this, that'd have been fine. But now the jury knows this guy engaged in misconduct. This is just absolutely retarded. I can't believe this. I can't believe it.
Move forward with the 14 we have for now. The court will be in recess.
And this is just fucking obnoxious, chat.
And where are you at the rodeo?
At the rodeo, why does that matter, sir?
Okay, this would be. I haven't seen this one yet. Has this guy ever had a trial that would stand on an appeal? Remember, it's all civil stuff, so it's not like, I mean, they're really big problems, but like, come on. Okay, oh, so this is the one where you're saying the guy thinks it's a scam? Okay. We're going to guys, it's only 10:45. We'll listen to this one, and then we'll probably wrap it up from there. 556 people watching. Guys, thank you all for being here. If you're new, my name's Sean, also known as Potentially Criminal. I'm an attorney out of the Cleveland, Ohio area, and we're just kind of covering this judge who's brought himself to national attention for just being completely unhinged and acting like a lunatic and not how a judge should act. So thank you guys all for being here. Let's watch this one and see what we get.
Because I'm about to send the sheriff's office out to pick you up.
Your Honor, we've tried to make
person.
attempts to contact them as we've stated.
Hey, sir, do not talk over me. All right, I'm going to
What the fuck? You're just yelling at people. Jesus.
try to call her from the bench. Hey. All right.
Your Honor, we've
All of you
tried to
in
make
person.
attempts to contact them as we've stated.
Hey, sir, do not talk over me. All right, I'm going to try to call her from the bench.
Huh. Wow. That was a lot of reading.
Hello.
Hi, is this Miss Waters?
Nice speaking.
I'm sorry?
Nice speaking.
Yes, this is Judge Nathan Milliron, and I'm calling from the 215th District Court in Harris County.
What is this regarding?
A situation with your minor child, I believe. Do you have a case in Harris County?
Not that I'm aware of. Is this in regard to the KSG law firm?
Ma'am, I don't know. Do you have a lawyer?
Yes, I do.
Are you responding to that lawyer?
I haven't had any. I'm assuming the case has been closed.
Do you know Mr. Menchaca?
No.
Have you ever spoken with Mr. Anthony Malley?
He sounds familiar.
Where are you located right now, ma'am?
I'm in Harris County. I'm in Houston.
Could you give me an address?
I'm not comfortable with that.
Well, ma'am, I don't really care if you're comfortable. I'm calling from a court, and I'm the judge sitting on the bench. I'm trying to deal with your case to help your minor child.
The judge saying he's helping with the case for the minor.
I mean, it sounds like a scam to me, chat. Like, if you know, like, here's the thing. Like, if a judge called me and it's from a court I know, I'd be like, oh, hey, judge, what's up? But I don't blame regular people from going, oh, this seems like a fucking scam. Because you know how many times you get those calls? Oh, yes, hello, son. My name is Bob from the Social Security Administration. Yes, sir. Please give me your name, sir, and Google Play card, sir. But I've also like had times where like white people have tried to scam me, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm so and so with the Lake County Sheriff's Office," and I'm like, "Bullshit, you are. I know you're not." But the average person might believe it. So him just saying I'm the judge, that don't mean nothing to me. Like for people having problems. The only thing missing is the Indian accent, sir. Yes, okay, Habibi. Yes. The bail bond scam, yes, it's all a scam. They're all kinds of scams. So, and Cam Debbie's saying from a private safety standpoint, to me, she's acting correctly. I agree.
That's what I thought.
Who is this?
Who's this?
Abby, go on the record, please. I'll give you the cause number shortly. This is Judge Nathan Milliron.
He didn't do that on the record? Wow. Wow. Why is that? That should be on the record. Wow. You personally contacting a party, like, I don't think you should do it. But if you're going to do it, that needs to be documented and protected for review. Wow. Wow. Are you retroactively to put things on the record through the video we're watching? Technically, no. This is not the record. This is not the record. The record, chat, like, I just got done working on an appeal. of a trial. This is a one-day trial. All right? Look at that. One-day trial. I just did the appeal on. This is the record. This is what was documented to have occurred. This is the authoritative telling of what occurred at that trial. The trial is on video, but that is not the record. So, you know, and the record chat is these things here. That's the record. This is not. So, is it a certified platinum record? It's a certified hood single. Certified hood classic. So, could you have the record amended by submitting the video? No. I mean, you might be able to make the argument, Your Honor, this is the closest thing we have, but courts are reluctant to accept something that's not the record that's done by a court reporter. So, cool channel names. Could you hire your own stenographer if you wanted your own court record? Yeah, you could hire a stenographer, but that's going to be like a shitload of fucking money. You need like Alec Baldwin money to do that kind of stuff.
And I'm calling from the 215th District Court in Harris County.
But more importantly, this judge, it's like, this judge should know better. This isn't a situation where like we've been talking for like 5 minutes and we didn't realize like that the recording software wasn't working, or sometimes it freezes up and sometimes nobody notices right away. That happens. But this, where the judge is just dicking around and he's already made contact and already things have happened where he might be a witness. These are massive problems, and he should know better. KRS, is there a reason why it needs to be written down over recording? This is just the traditional way. It's kind of like why faxes still exist. Tradition. Do I think in the future you'll start seeing video become more and more part of it? Yes. But for right now, it's still a reliance on the paper record. So, and then I saw this comment here. Robot Glock, you said this. Judge Middleton, I think he's one of the other judges who does streaming. I think Dolly covers him. And you mentioned something here I thought was really, really good. He calls no-shows and finds out if they like transportation and hooks them up with rides. You know, that's how you steward your community. This guy doesn't steward his community. So.
Who am I speaking with?
Well, if this is a case on behalf of a minor, should the lawyer be contacting us, not the judge himself?
Well, the lawyers are sitting here on Zoom.
Boom! That is really fucking... That is good. This person smells a fucking rat. And I don't blame them for saying, oh, this seemed like bullshit to me. Wow. Whoever that guy is, you know, that's fucking smart. That was a smart answer. Where are the attorneys? Because, yeah, I don't think a regular person would be wrong to say, I smell a rat. I smell a rat. Here, I smell a rat. So, yeah, Dolly, put your link in here, man. You could do that. You could do that.
They say they can't contact you. I'm trying to contact you to resolve this.
Sorry for an attitude. But yeah, we weren't expecting this call. But
well, I'm sure you weren't. I wasn't expecting to make it.
Yes, sir. Well, what exactly do you need?
I need to know where you are right now. Where are you right now?
Sorry?
Where are you right now?
I'm at the rodeo. What's going on? What do you mean, where am I?
Sir, what's your name?
I'm at the rodeo. What's going on? What do you mean, where am I?
Sir.
Also, notice, chat, so one of the reasons why video and audio are problematic at times, notice there's jump cuts here. You can't jump cut the record. Everything is recorded and typed out and written down. This can be modified, and that's one of the issues. And with AI, that is also now a problem. So you might not like it, but you can't AI a transcript like that. The court reporter's thing is the court reporter's thing.
What's your name?
I'm the father of the...
I didn't ask who you are. I said, what's your name?
Raymond Massa.
And where are you at the rodeo?
At the rodeo, why does that matter, sir?
Because I'm about to send the sheriff's office out to pick you up.
What? I apologize. What? Hey, we just woke up. We just got done with the rodeo. And you just throwing us off, and now you're doing that.
Sir, are you available tomorrow morning?
No, I actually return back to work tomorrow.
When are you available? I would think you would want to help your minor child. Am I wrong?
Great. But what is this? I mean, pertaining to, like, what exactly is it, sir? What's going on?
Counsel, they seem to be playing stupid. Have you actually spoken to your client?
Your Honor, I've had no contact with them. I'm covering on this hearing today.
Who's your supervisor? Did I stutter? Who is your supervisor?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Who are you speaking with?
To you. Who's your supervisor? Who actually spoke with this client?
I don't want to misrepresent the court, Your Honor. I'm not certain if anyone's been able to reach or get in contact with these individuals. But Abraham
So you
Garcia would be
represent
my
somebody that you
supervisor.
have had no contact with?
What you doing?
Mr. Menchaca, do you
Yes.
represent somebody you've had no contact with?
And I will say, chat, in court-appointed cases, that's not uncommon. You're given the information of... Some courts don't even give you, the attorney, the information. Sometimes, if you're court-appointed and they pull the attorney off the list, they give the client your contact information. They say, call your attorney. And then if I don't hear from them, I have to come into court and be like, Your Honor, the guy's never called me. And then the court's like, well, that's his problem. But yeah, the idea that a court, like especially probably in a court-appointed case, that the party has not spoken to their attorney and like made contact or been available, that's not unheard of. Like, so this idea he's incredulous is a little fucking stupid.
Your Honor, I'm covering on this hearing today. This is the first.
Well, okay, I'm covering. That doesn't mean shit, though. If you're covering, you should know what the fuck is going on. And if you don't know what's going on, that's a problem that your buddy left you out to dry. But you should know what the fuck is happening.
Time that I've ever made an appearance in this case.
I don't really get...
It doesn't matter because you're here now. When you show up, you're the guy handling the problem. You are now that guy. So you need to know as much as you can. That's why, like, I've covered cases for attorneys before, like other like defense attorneys. Like, they'll call me and say, like, hey, Sean, can you be out in like Chardon, Ohio and Common Pleas Court for a pretrial at, next week at 10 a.m. And I'll look at my calendar and be like, oh, I'm over in juvenile court that day. I can be over there. I'll be over there. Like, I'm at 9. I'll be there at 10. And they're like, cool. And they notify the court that I'm filling in. Guess what? When I'm there, it's now my problem. That's what happens. And if you're in an organization, yeah, you got to know. You got to know what's going on. I don't think this lawyer is court-appointed civil court. Well, it's on behalf of a minor child. That's why I think if it's involving a minor child, usually you're involved, like, in any sort of case involving a minor child, generally there's appointed counsel.
I care. Who do you represent?
And the fact that this attorney has a supervisor means he's like legal aid or public defender of some type, typically. It could be a guardian ad litem, chitin, but it could also be a dependency case. It could be some type of case involving children's services. It could be a million different things. But remember, if if the parents are saying I have an attorney, the guardian would not be representing the parents. The guardian's representing the best interest of the child. So parents have their own attorney. So anyway, I hope that made sense. That's a lot to go through all at once.
We represent the plaintiffs Maria Mata and the minor Raymond Mata.
But you don't know if you actually represent them because you've never spoken to them.
Your Honor,
y'all are ordered to appear here tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Your Honor, we've
All of you
tried to
in
make
person.
attempts to contact them as we've stated.
Sir, do not talk over me.
Yes, Your Honor.
Be here tomorrow at 8 a.m. in person. I'm done with this.
Now that part's fine. Don't talk over them. If you have made efforts of contact, you talk to the attorney you covered for, you get your case file together, and you show, look, Judge, we fucking tried to contact them. We sent them letters before. Like, I've had that happen. Person comes in, I didn't do shit, especially like on a children's services case. Like, Your Honor, I've sent like 3 letters to them. And here are all the letters I sent. And, you know, I even, like, when I stamped it, I ran the envelope through the photocopy on the copier to show I mailed it out. You know, when I didn't hear back from them, I did a tracking to show it got delivered. You know, Your Honor, I drove by the house. There's no one there. And, you know, every once in a while you have to do that on those appointed cases where people are elusive. You're like, look, Judge, I took a picture. Here's our house. Here's the house on record. And then when they pull shit like, well, I don't live there no more. Well, why'd you tell everybody that's where you live? Like, you do a little bit to cover your ass. You do a little bit to cover your ass. Where you're saying letters, well, go over to your client's house. That's not always possible. If you're like in a public defender's office in something like Houston, it's probably fucking impossible to arrange that. But you know, like I got a little bit of like I'm in court that day in that town. I could swing by there as I'm driving home from court, and I could like knock on the door, leave a card. You know, you're right in the back. Please call me ASAP. It's about your court case. Stick it in the door, you take a picture, and you walk away. Then you can say, look, here's all the shit I did.
All of you. I'm going to solve this tomorrow.
So.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
All right. Like I said, I just woke up. What's this pertaining to exactly?
This is the case that you have Mata versus Bakrave in my courtroom. And apparently you may or may not be represented by counsel that is representing. He's representing you. I have no idea. I need you here in my courtroom tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Why would we need to be there, sir? I'm sorry.
Because I just ordered you to be here. That's why.
All right. I'm sorry. Well, we'll all be there, but what courtroom is that, sir?
It's in the 215th District Court. It's at 201 Caroline on the 13th floor.
Caroline 13th.
Second, sir. Let me write that down. 201 Caroline. On the 9th floor?
13th floor.
13th floor.
At 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
Oh, and this is where the IT guy...
Sorry, courtroom, sir.
Is this where the IT guy thing happened from? Wow.
The 215th District Court.
Okay.
There'll be signs when you get to the 13th floor. You'll be able to get in there very easily, I assure you.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Once again, I apologize.
Now, see, this is the thing I don't like about some of these court channels. They're like, we're going to have full doc as this judge because he's based. No, he's fucking awful. He's awful.
Woke up and, could have been a scam or something. I'm
Does
sorry.
the minor need to be there?
Everybody needs to be here tomorrow, 8 a.m.
Okay.
This is not a scam, I assure you. You can go on justx.net. You can look and see that I'm the judge of the 215th District Court.
That doesn't mean
you can do whatever you need to do. You need to be here tomorrow.
That doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We'll do.
Mr. Menchaca, I want to see you and your supervisor here tomorrow.
Yes, Your Honor.
In person. Speaking to Irate. Yes. Jeez. Mr. Menchaca, who's your supervisor?
Abraham Garcia, Your Honor.
Well, he needs to be here tomorrow.
Understood, Your Honor.
Everybody needs to be here tomorrow. Mr. Malley, you can be here by Zoom if you'd like.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm gonna be on YouTube, huh?
Notice he's like, oh, I mean, I don't blame people like, oh, you could check out who I am. That doesn't mean shit, man. That is so fucked up that he thinks people care like that. Like, they'll know. Also, yeah, okay, well, here we go, guys. Actually, it's just a law firm, it looks like. So Abraham Garcia is a partner. And then this guy here, Alexander Menchaca, that was him. Okay, born and raised in El Paso. So what does he do? What does he practice? Doesn't necessarily say what are their practice areas. Okay, must have been some sort of civil injury case then. Okay. So, all right. Was he speaking Arabic thing was supposed to be a racial remark? I don't think so, because Menchaca is Hispanic. I don't know. The problem is, and David, you're going to be, I know you're an attorney. David's an attorney here. The problem is when you start acting like a fucking dickhead, nobody knows if you're being an asshole or you are being an ass. Like, are you joking or are you being an asshole? And are you being racist? Yeah, they're PI lawyers. Well, hey, dogs got to eat, man. You know what? Make fun of those guys, but those guys, they're the attorneys who own yachts, okay? Those are the people who own yachts. So I can't laugh at them. Oh. Yeah, and that's how scams work. You identify an easily identifiable person. Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. Let's catch up on some things here. Taylor for $5 is saying, let's not forget the defense industry doesn't pivot on a dime. The 90s GWAT led to a hollowing of the investment in air defense and strategic assets. Yeah, but also remember, though, throughout the Cold War, the U.S. Air, going back to the beginning of the show, the air defense system of NATO was the United States Air Force. Like, yeah, there was some surface air missile and anti-aircraft defenses, but mainly it was going to be the U.S. Air Force would demolish Soviet air, whether it was rotary wing, fixed or rotary wing air. That was going to be demolished, and air superiority would be in the name of the game. That's the reason why in World War II, the U.S. Army didn't rely on anti-aircraft defenses moving along with it because the U.S. Air Force had air superiority. Whereas, like the Germans, they took and they strapped anti-aircraft guns to every vehicle they could towards the end of the war. And so did the Russians. And it also is part of Russian SHORAD, doctrine was because World War II was so traumatic that, they had all kinds of anti-aircraft and all organically attached to units. And, all the AAA and SAMs that they had. That was a doctrinal thing from dealing with World War II. And they anticipated, yes, the U.S. would heavily be airstriking and interdicting, so they responded because they realized the Air Force, the VKS was not going to be able to stop the USAF. So, but yes, thank you, Taylor. Good. Thank you for a good question. Thank you so much. Whiskey 77 says, Sean, don't overeat, but there is a spider in the center of the picture on your left. Well, my left would be here. There is not a spider up there. Thank you, though. Nice try. Nice try. Guys, Whiskey 77 Feral over at Assholes React. Guys, find them on Sundays. Good to see you, Whiskey. Hope you're doing well, man. And then Johan Naxos for $20. $20 says, word of advice, chat. Don't mess with a guy who can see all your emails, Teams, and internet traffic, and has the ability to reroute things and make other things conveniently disappear at critical times. Just saying. Yes, the guy who can make all kinds of cheese pizza show up in your inbox, too. Yeah. Don't fuck with that guy. Never fuck with that guy. Never. So, but thank you so much, Johan. I appreciate it. Yes, but just saying, very good words of advice. David says it sounds like he was mad they didn't have something that was filed before ready when he wanted it. Yeah, but once again, going back to that clerk stuff, it's 4 o'clock on the a day, man. Like, what do you want to happen? Like, you know, it's gonna that's that is such a fucking asshole thing. Like, what do you expect these guys to do? I don't know. Objective Gestalt for $5 says, at least they didn't just paste filled in text boxes over the redacted parts. Yeah, that's correct. Yep. That is a good thing. Yes, chat. You know, when you saw proof of how properly redact. Remember, chat, if you're going to redact the old-fashioned way, you take a Sharpie and run it through the thing. You then take that document through the photocopier again to make sure it takes, because otherwise the ink will still bleed through the Sharpie. Don't just turn over Sharpie documents. You have to make photocopies of them. So do it. Do it. Objective Gestalt says, there are all the examples of lawyers acting like lolcows recently. It's refreshing to see the judge being a lolcow. Well, remember, if you go back through the YSL trial for Young Thug, Judge Glanville was a lolcow in his own right. So, and I would argue that the judge in the Afroman trial would definitely have made his way there at that point as well. T-Rex Travel says, I have a feeling pissing off your clerk can make your life just as miserable as me pissing off my dispatcher as a trucker. It's a bad idea all around. Yes. That's true for attorneys. In general, you don't piss off court staff. But yes, if you are a judge and you piss off the people working underneath you, you're fucked. The people who are in charge of making sure your dockets are set, things are being filed, keeping track of cases. There's a reason why you have staff. And if you treat your staff like shit, yeah, it's going to go badly. You're going to have a bad day. Definitely. So thank you, T-Rex, for $5. Gordon's Fisherman has been a member for 6 months. Thank you. You're being here. $5,000. Yes. Take it easy, Judge Roy Bean. Yeah, that's a lot. That's insane. I mean, even if he walked in there and told that judge to go fuck himself, $5,000 is fucking ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous to me. So, but thank you again. And thank you also for everybody who's sending memberships. Thank you all for your support, your generosity. Let's see here. Oh, did I miss one? Oh, no. Professor Fate says, who keeps all the document? We did get that one. David says, is this one of those guys who's never practiced and basically scammed his way into being a judge? No, I'm sure he's practiced, but he basically rode Trump's coattails onto winning. He rode the MAGA wave. So, he rode the MAGA wave. Afton Forward for 5 subs. Let's go, chat. Once again, big support. Afton, thank you so much for your support and your generosity. And yeah, chat, I think the Thunder has gone away for now, but I'm pretty sure Clyde is still. Hold on, let me check. Yeah, Clyde is still he's actually shaking a little bit, so we're not going to be able to see him tonight. Sorry, guys, but it's the best I could do. It's the best I could do for you. Best I can do for you, chat. And then T-Rex again says, my bad, Sean. The rackets joke went way over my head. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry about that. No. There is no blasphemy towards Jesus in this channel. We don't do that here. Jesus was a good boy. The best boy, as you were. Deviation. For $10. Thank you. It's good to see you, man. It's been a little while. Says, thanks for being you and always showing your potential. Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see here. January 6th, 2.0. If you want your January 6th, but you want it 2 times based. I'll be the bad guy for chat. Honestly, he could be the biggest faggot in the world. If he rules like I want, he's got my vote. Better than a sweetheart who thinks squatters' rights is a thing. I understand you think that, but ultimately, this judge is going to do whatever he wants. He won't be consistent. People like this are very rarely consistent. They're very schizophrenic in how they handle things. So you would like him for a while until you don't like him. And then at that point, the other side would like him. And then Taylor says, for $5, until the 90s, shooting down a ballistic missile was near impossible. If not for Patriot and Scuds, it's a capability we would probably be without. Oh, no, I don't disagree that. I don't disagree with any of that. I'm just saying, doctrinally, we didn't have a need for, it's kind of like why the Chaparral program disappeared. The Vulcan went away. Because we're like, we don't really need that stuff anymore. We've got the Air Force to handle that. And we got through the Gulf War without needing all that stuff. The Air Force just crushed the Air Force, so we didn't need it. So just something that's just thinking about it. Just thinking out loud. It's like what I do. I think out loud. Oh. Let me see here, chat. Hold on, look at one thing. One thing. Nope. That's all set. Where I was looking. Feed-tubing enthusiast for $5 says the new Black Magic SS album released earlier today. I ordered the new Samurai Toten Witch, a Toten cough in the style of a witch, pin to celebrate. I'm gonna have to go look. That sounds interesting for a pin. Thank you for being here. And then I own you for $2 says, could Dolores report him to his boss? Well, he has a boss. The boss for the judges would be the Texas Judiciary Council. Ultimately, that's going to be, there are judicial oversight committees and groups. That's who supervises. Ultimately, though, as a judge, there isn't really anything you can do because there might be an administrative judge or a presiding judge in a court. But that's just a thing between the judges. They pick one, and that's who's in charge. He's just in charge of things formally, but he doesn't really necessarily have authority over the other judges in any significant way. Remember, they're all elected officials, so they are responsible unto themselves. The only difference is for judges, you have like a judicial oversight board, and at the end of the day, Milliron is still an attorney, so he's subject to bar discipline as well. He could violate the rules of professional conduct and be in trouble as a judge, and then also get hammered as an attorney. So there are things you can do. It's just there is no manager judge. And if there is a presiding judge, he's going to say, I can't do shit about it. It's not my job. So that's a very good question. I own you. That's a very good question. Thank you for asking. It. Wow, there's a bunch of questions I need to catch up on here. Let me see here. Sound like it's a PI suit? I think so. Yeah, looks like it now. Zakuza says DUI guy's a Lambo. Yeah, well, I know he had a Maserati. I know he was driving like the Johnny Depp stuff in a Maserati, but yeah. If you play your cards right and Larry, I will say Larry's also got his hands in other he's got his fingers in other pies. Like I think he's got like real estate, like a real estate agency or a title company he has. And whether it's real estate or a title company, man, especially a title agency, That's a fucking ATM machine. If you can get it running a title agency, oh my God, it just literally fucking makes money for you. Let's see here. I look at myself in the mirror knowing I'm not a piece of shit ambulance chaser. Well, there you go. Okay. Let's see here. Did I listen to the episode 2 of Enemy from Daryl Cooper / Martyr Maid? No, I have not. I have not listened to his stuff. Deviate says, remember that money always finds its way back to the street. It does. It does. Oh, you're saying it was like an hour ago for the spider. Okay. I don't think there was you guys are full of shit. I don't see a spider, but now I'm going to have to like light the whole place on fire. Drummer says, are most judges kind of dicks? No. Most judges are pretty cool. Most judges are pretty chill. If they, there's some times where they can't be. Just that's business. But overall, no, most judges are pretty like laid back. They're pretty understanding. They're people just like everybody else. But there's, sometimes they can't be. But no, most judges aren't. There are judges who are dickheads, though. I mean, that just happens. That's part of the game. That's part of the game. Oh, David's saying, I think they filed it way earlier in the day and he wanted it for his 4 p.m. Still a dick move, but a bit better. Yeah, but even then, sometimes that just doesn't fucking work. Shit happens, man. Joe Schmo says, did I hear correctly the IT guy showed up after that call? I think so. With the parents. Could the supervisor he wanted was a lawyer supervisor? No. He wanted his lawyer's managing partner, but he also wanted the IT guy's supervisor. He wanted both those people. He's being a cunt. Drummer says U-boats took their removed their deck guns and put on AAA guns because they were getting vulnerable by 1940. Yes, by 1943. Well, they also had to reinforce conning towers and build platforms. But yes, by 1943, you started seeing quad 20 millimeter mounts and Breda 13 millimeter machine guns getting put all over. Very interesting, kind of like similarly like to U.S. like Gato and Baleo boats having 50 caliber machine guns and shit all over, except they had theirs to engage sampans and light Japanese shipping. It wasn't necessarily meant for anti-aircraft defense. J-Rock says Glanville in the YSL trial was once a respected judge. Yes, but not anymore. Not anymore. He pissed that all away in front of the world. Final Revolution says nobody's got AIDS. Yes. You guys have a Clyde Tower? I don't. Oh, I see the C. CLYDE. Oh, such a good boy. Young and Bitter says that only makes us miss him more. I'm sorry. But Clyde does not. He did not do good with the Storms. He is not in the Storms. He has a rough time, and he 2.0 is the primary person for him. He loves 2.0, especially in the Storms. Drummer says the 88 Flak was a great all-purpose AA and anti-tank weapon. It was, but like a Flak 38 is not what you're putting on a U-boat, and they don't have the kind of shells and ammunition to engage an airplane. Number one, and number two, that would be just one facet of a coordinated anti-aircraft defense. So it wouldn't just be one 88 going; you'd have a bunch, too. So, El DeGusto says, but Dick Ricada said I could blaspheme the Messiah. Yes. Oh, which favorite Christian am I? Catholic, Roman Catholic. Not very fond of the current people occupying the papacy right now, but yes, I believe in the Church of Rome. I do believe it. So. Garrett says, remember, Sean said the A10's days were done. The A10 has the unique ability to go out and like do other missions, but the idea the A10 is prowling around through an active enemy air defense situation is not correct. The A10, if I'm hunting T-62s in Bavaria in 1979, yes, the A10 is unstoppable. If I'm interdicting supply convoys in Czechoslovakia in 1981, the A10, hands down, I am going to slay with that. By 1985, no, it's not very good. By 1990, no, it's not very good. Today, to do that, no, it's not very good. Now, instead, if I'm using the A-10s, which is what the U.S. Air Force has been doing, and I didn't realize, apparently they've been training on this mission for a couple of years now, I'm prowling around the Straits of Hormuz, hunting down Iranian boats that are laying mines and engaged in naval warfare operations on their little smaller civilian craft. It's perfect for that. But to engage in an active air defense environment, the A-10 is a death trap. So, yes, its days are done in that regard. Its days have been done in a long time. By 1985, those things would get shot down out fucking left and right, man. I mean, you want to go up against a couple of Tunguskas and Shilkas and, like any of the, very mobile Russian SHORAD, you're not making it, man. You ain't coming back. You ain't coming back, homie. We didn't have our own Gepards. No, we had like the M20. We had the Vulcan, the M113 with the 20 millimeter cannon on it, but that was it. So, yeah, Lightning's coming back across. Yep, it is. Let me see here. Trying to catch up, chat. Bars never go after judges, Sean. I mean, like a bar, like some places have a state bar association. Whoever's in charge of attorney discipline can. Can we get a model stream? I don't know. Russell Greer got sanctioned. I'm going to have to look that up. So we'll see. Yes, title agency prints money. Yes, they do. I know an attorney who owns a title agency, and I'm like, how did that work out? And she kind of lucked into getting it, and the opportunity was right. And I'm like, is it really just like opening an ATM? And she's like, you have no fucking idea the amount of money that thing makes. She's like, if you can get into one, get into one. So, David says the way you do real good as a lawyer is in starting a bunch of side businesses. Yeah, it does help. It does help. It does help. Outlaw 2 says, random question. Is there a limit to how long a case can remain in pretrial? Not necessarily by, like, you have, like, so civil cases, no. And then for criminal cases, let's say everybody's, like, the defendants have waived their right to a speedy trial. Technically, no. Now, that said, at the federal level and in most state court levels, there are more and more judicial oversight and accountability. So courts have to generate lists for information purposes of how many cases on their dockets are 180 days past filing of initiation, how old they are. Civil cases get a little bit of leeway in that regard, but yes, there are things where you don't, like, there's no like specific thing, but the idea is the longer you do this, you have to keep filing updates for it, and eventually, these Supreme Courts and places will, judges get pestered about what's going on with this case. Why is it on your sheets for so long? You should get this case moving, blah, 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 blah. So that has motivated a lot of judges, like, we got to keep it going. We got to go. We got to go. So technically, yes, it could go on forever, but you don't want it to. You don't want it to. Did I see the Mata's interview with the Afroman juror? I heard a little bit of it. I've not heard the full thing. I heard the first part where they spoke to the attorney, but I've not listened to the juror part. DV8 says, over here bringing up historical reality. Dang. It's like, it's what you get here, man. That's what you get here. Yes, we have the courts. Yes. Yes, 6 of the Supreme Court justices are Catholic, which is fucking hilarious. They're not as bad as the fucking Anglicans. Oh, of course they're not. We're better than the Anglicans. Pope Leo is Peruvian, not really from Chicago anymore. Well, there's that too. Yeah. Oh, I know. That's why I don't like them giving the prayer rooms up and stuff. So, am I coping much? What am I coping about? David says, explain the first Gulf War then. Yeah, the A-10 only operated after like massive operations to disable the Iraqi air defense networks were done. And by that point, the like an actual enemy who wants to fight you, yes. But if the Iraqis were really able to fight and wanted to fight, oh no, the A-10 would not survive a fucking minute. Put an A-10 up over the fucking Ukraine, over Donbass right now. Fucking out of the sky immediately. I mean, when you think about A-10s, up until 2003, A-10s were like old school tech. Like pilots had to have a map and binoculars to figure out where they were going in like a Garmin GPS. Like A-10s, it wasn't until like mid-2000s they got glass cockpits. So you get to watch Meme live after me. It's the best night ever. Well, there you go. The A-10 is like the better Apache. I'd argue the Apache's far more survivable and capable in a contested environment right now. So Cyanide Clone says CAS as close air support's not going to work in a near peer war. I mean, it can, but you're going to have to fucking have air dominance. You're going to need fucking blue sky, and you're going to need effective anti-suppression of enemy air defenses. Did I see about Christy Noem? Yes, and the fake titties. We'll cover it on Thursday night. By the way, Chad, if you are new, you guys are here and you've never been here before. We do a live show every Thursday night, 9:30 Eastern, and we cover all kinds of fun stuff. We have a case we covered earlier this year where these attorneys out of New Orleans were faking car accidents, and they killed one of the people they were using as a fake plaintiff. They got convicted. We've got clavicular shooting at the dead alligator. Also some updates on the Tyler Robinson case. We got a bunch of other stuff we'll cover by then too, but it's Thursday nights, 9:30. Also, if you guys are new, tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, because I have shit to do during the day, we're going to go over the Supreme Court oral arguments in the birthright citizenship case tomorrow at 6 p.m. And then after that, we'll I do a channel where we go play with like paint models and stuff, and like, you know, like we build plastic little models, and you know, we make like little guys in their models, and we make them and we go make them do stuff. And it's like, you know, like this little guy here, you know, we do like little models, you know, for things like tabletop games and also just other stuff. We'll do that tomorrow night afterwards. James Reed sets a Rule 26 discovery violations. So, Kez says, sup, Sean, hope you're doing fine. I am doing pretty, you know, I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay, and that's a good, no, that's okay. Doing okay, and that's okay. So, yeah, the Russell Gere case is in pre-trial. It's been going for 5 years. Scorpio says, do you have the next day at 8 a.m.? No, I do not. I don't know where that's at. Yeah, that's the other thing. The Mercedes, oh, God, what's her? Yeah. I mean, there's still a case going out of, 2019. It's still going. Yeah. You can have stuff drag on for a while. Weird Tiger Ray says, what do you think about China being able to build way more ships than we can? I mean, that doesn't mean a whole lot. I mean, it's a significant thing, but what are they able to do with those? I mean, how many more frigates, how many more destroyers are you building? Like right now, they've got the Fujian class aircraft carrier. Are they able to do carrier ops? I mean, are they still, I mean, you can have so many ships, but if you're going to be a regional kind of brown water navy, I mean, the bigger thing is like, you know, what tech are you using? And really, like the next fight, when we go to war with China, it's going to be a cruise missile fight. Guided munitions, long range, over the horizon stuff. So, And really the biggest thing for China is the U.S. Navy submarine fleet is going to turn all that shit into fucking reefs. So if I'm China, anti-submarine warfare is my priority action. More importantly, having intelligence and trying to penetrate the U.S. Navy to penetrate and locate where submarines are going to be, because those are going to be the devastating part of the U.S. military that the Chinese are going to have to fight. So, let's see here. Trying to catch up, chat. Okay, hold on, guys. I'm catching up here. DV8 says Monday, Thursday of the Lord's Supper. Yes. Eat well, my brothers. I have work in the morning. God bless. Yes, it is Holy Week, chat. Please, enjoy your services, your celebrations. And yes, Easter is coming on Sunday, and that's the good news. And there's always good news at Easter that yes, he is risen. So it's always a good thing. And it's always the good news. That's the good news. It's neat because it never changes. Tomorrow's April Fool's Day. Be careful, chat. Be careful. So let's see here. Yeah, he has risen, bish. Yes. All right, J-Rock for $9.99 says model, please. I can't. It's 11:30. I gotta get up in the morning. Sorry. I'll keep this in mind for tomorrow night. We're gonna do the Supreme Court stuff, and maybe we're gonna be able to sit there and go like dab, 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 dab. Maybe we're gonna be able to dab on everything, or maybe we're gonna have to sit here and cope and see. We will work on that model tomorrow night because it can't go that long, and we'll deal with it. So, something to think about, chat. Something to think about. Okay, I promise we will do it tomorrow. And then Peter Keys, for $5 New Zealand dollars, says playing catch up. How many times has that IT guy been called for user error and he doesn't get angry? The judge should develop he should improve his digital literacy. Yeah, I'm sure he, judge like, what does PC load letter mean? Help me. Taylor says for $2, the AGR-20 rockets have given the A-10 anti-drone legs. Yes. That is correct. And guys, what's the AGR-20 is here? This is just if you didn't know what he was talking about. And some of you guys are like, wow, this is a law channel. Yeah, we do a little bit of stuff here. The AGR-20 is the Advanced Precision Kill Weapon System. Basically, you take unguided rockets, the Hydra 70s, which are just, the rocket pod rockets, like right here. And you can use them and set them up to be guided little rockets. And laser guidance, that way you could turn it and you could chase down drones, and now I can make this an effective weapon to go kill drones with. Actually, real quick, I missed one here. We're gonna get to this. January 6th says, I'd rather roll my dice with inconsistency than a LARPing communist. At the end of the day, it's gonna feel like the same thing when you deal with it. It's gonna feel the same way. Let's see here. T-Rex Travel says, have you ever taken a sanction on the chin in your zealous advocacy for your client? I mean, like, have I ever been like fined for my client or anything like that? No, because usually, like, better than the cat. You catch yourself. Like, I've been very fortunate that if I've ever done anything kind of retarded, or the judge kind of like gives you the warning of like, you need to fucking check yourself. You're like, Your Honor, may I take a second to catch myself? And then, and then eventually, at some point that judge is still going to be cheesed off with you, but you give it a little bit of time, and like, they get it. Shit happens. Shit happens when you're playing with your cleats on. So, but no, I've never have, and I never would like that. I mean, like Brian Steele, yeah, but I have not been lucky enough to be in that situation. If that's what you're talking about, but no, I've never been like eating a $500 sanction for my client, because there's very rarely a time something like that's going to be the case where you're like actually helping them. Generally, if you're eating a sanction, you're hurting your client's case. Usually, it's my opinion on that. Stephen Cooper's been a member for 27 months. Says Catholics, number 1. Baptists are 287th place. Yes. Yes, T-Rex Travels for $9.99 says Artemis 2 is supposed to launch tomorrow between 6 and 8 p.m. Is the launch window Eastern time? Since you said you'll be able to go live, are we going to tune in? I don't know. I think it's Eastern because they're launching out of Florida, so it should be Eastern time. But yeah, we'll take a look at it. I mean, if it happens right then, we might run it for a second. But yeah, we'll definitely do that. And thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Mark 202 says Sean is super hot, very handsome, very beautiful. You know, guys got to stop. You guys got to, it's bullshit at some point when you do that. Oh, Eric says I was part of the Advanced Precision Kill Weapon System program 20 years ago. Then I got assigned to the Dragon Lady. Ooh, but you too. Cool. Luke says, does Josh's tortious interference claim against Russell Gregory Pillavage in regards to his hiring of Hardin? No, because they can explain where it is, but there's still attorney-client privilege. It's not a waivable. Like, you don't completely waive it, but there's going to be some things that will be discoverable. But no, not like a complete destruction of it at all. Yeah, Sean dabbing is a vibe. Well, like I said, will I be dabbing or coping? I don't know. Let me see. I think we're all caught up here. Yeah, it was originally going to be a landing mission, but they, yeah. Luke is saying the existence of a contractual relationship is an element of the claim. So presumably that's all discoverable. Anything relating to the contract, so if they engaged in a retainer agreement, that would be probably proof of that. But if they're discussing... Yes, Russell Greer would get the retainer agreement. But anything else, like if Hardin and Josh are talking about like strategy and how to deal with the case, that's out of bounds. Yes, but anything the Russell could get is not going to help him. So, Two Cocks Fighting says, I think it's Sean when I titty fuck. Well, like, are you talking about when you titty fuck somebody or when you like you've got your titties smashed together? It's like ooh. So, with that said, chat, that is it. That is it for us tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow night, 6 p.m. to do the Supreme Court case. Thank you all for being here. A lot of new faces. Thank you guys so much. And remember, until next time, chat, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Doesn't mean you're guilty. This judge is guilty of being cringe. I can tell you that much. So, yes, Trump is going to SCOTUS, apparently. First time that's ever happened. This is going to be weird. That'll be cool. So, good night, chat. And Joe Schmo says, do good things tomorrow. All of you, go do good things tomorrow. I hope you guys all have a great day. Happy April Fool's Day. Don't get like don't be too gullible tomorrow. Don't be too gullible. Be on guard, chat. Be on guard. Good night, you guys. Take care.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. But please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fat guy Rick hated yelled at? Why, yes it was, he even knows he's fat. For all this fun and more, there's one place to go. Here on Sean Martin's Potential.